Did you see Hot Mike or Hot Carl? hot Mike.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what a Hot Carl is?
I don't even want to know. I don't want to know what it is unless
get into that.
Yeah, at least a few minutes in.
No, we're not. No, I'm not going to do it.
You know,
I mean, it's not my show.
Jabel, where are you? Yeah. We got 41 people listening to this
already. Yeah. We're only 50 seconds into it. We haven't even started the show yet.
No, like all of a sudden, like there they were.
Oh, well, it's because you're on Facebook, aren't you?
Yeah, but there's nobody watching on Facebook.
Cool.
That's the problem with Facebook. You have to pay for stuff to be seen, so I'm saving up.
Oh, well, good luck with that. Yeah.
So,
think we should start this thing?
Maybe.
All right, cool.
You ready, John? What?
If I send you a couple of photos,
we're live.
We're live, by the way.
I see it. If I send you a couple of dick pics, well, you know what? I'll talk to you about that later, I guess.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, here we go.
You just
Dick Sargent or Dick York? Dick Van Dyke?
Dick Van Patten.
Just imagine saying you're going to send a couple of those pics, and it's those two guys.
Dick Smothers. Which is a great porn name, by the way. I don't know why that wasn't yours.
I don't know. Where are we? How do we do? All right. Hey, everybody.
Yes!
Welcome to the sound of kernels.
That is kernels, right?
No. But this is.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Is that the sound of Colonel's delicious gourmet popping corn?
It's amazing how heavy this box is.
That's what she said.
It's funny because if you look, like this box has been sitting on the desk for like an hour, and the dog couldn't give a rat's ass until I picked it up. Now Ace is like, "Hey, what's in the box? What's in the box?"
That smells good.
Yeah, the two of them are like, "Hey."
You know what's funny? I got a big shipment of kernels this past week, and I've been in like popcorn heaven. And I had a box sent to my mom, and she's like, she sees I got mine first, and she's freaking out. She's like, "What if the Colonel's shipment got lost? What if it snowed under somewhere? What if a truck rolled over and the Colonels fell out of it? You shouldn't have gotten yours before me. I'm closer to them. Something's wrong. You've got to call them." So she finally got them, and now she's thrilled. She's like, "It's the most delicious popcorn I've ever had. It's so light and airy." And I'm like, "Well, there you go, Mom." And she got chocolate-covered pecans with amaretto in them. Oh no, she's in heaven. She's like swimmingly happy right now. And thank you, executive producer Charles Green, who was nice enough, along with Shay over at Colonel's, to get together and send us some nice stuff.
I actually haven't opened mine yet. I was going to do it. This is my first unboxing on the show. Oh no, Sean Jean Solms was an unboxing as well.
Sean Jean
Solms. So, executive producer Charles Green sent this, and oh boy, Shay, those guys seal this stuff great.
Oh yeah, no, Shay's terrific over there. He'll hook you up. And if you mention Johnny Beane or Jay Hannon when you order, they load you up. They give you extra product, and it's really good stuff.
That might explain the weight of this box.
Oh yeah,
because it is, and I can smell it already. Jesus.
Oh, it's Paul. You're in for a treat.
All right, there's a card. Yeah, I can't read that.
It says kernels.
No popcorn for you.
That part I can read.
We sent you a bag. We sent you a bag of fishing weights.
It's that shit here. Yeah, good luck reading that. Sorry. So thank you to Charles Green. And holy shit.
Oh boy.
What is this?
Oh.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah, baby. That's a bag of chocolate goodies.
It's a grab bag of what the fuck is that?
That's taffy?
Awesome.
That's taffy. There's taffy in there. There's I can't read that either.
Chocolates.
Chocolate goodies.
Chocolate covered stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah, just all kinds of this stuff looks like spaghetti. What is that? Is that like licorice?
Oh, those are probably sour whips or something.
Yeah.
Those are sour belts, I think.
Holy shit. This thing weighs like 9 pounds.
Oh yeah.
And then I got for popcorn, I got
Chicago mix?
Yeah.
Or is that cheese?
That's Chicago mix.
Okay, Chicago mix. Yeah,
caramel and cheddar.
And cheddar. And then
that
I have
stuff's amazing.
Oh, that stuff's addictive.
And then I have more caramel.
Nice.
There's put it in the microwave, you got a hot caramel.
Ooh, that's exactly what I want is a hot caramel.
A Cleveland steamer. That's what you got.
Oh, that's nasty. So thank you to Charles Green for the box of diabetes.
There
Wow.
you go.
Speaking of Charles Green, he's one of the executive producers here on YouTube, along with Joe Christian, Wayno, and the Chad, Thomas
Who the hell
Santiago.
is the Chad?
Chad. The Chad.
Wayno has a sidekick now?
That's the name of his penis.
It was the easiest way to put it on the screen was
Oh.
So Wayno and the Chad. Thomas Santiago.
It's Wayno and the Chad. It's Wayno and the Chad.
Susan Silvestri. Bent Tom, James Gum, Jarhead Rock, Frank Corcoran, Michael Smith, Stephen Franklin, Dad Halen, John Moronic, Jamari Hawkins, Voodoo Child SJ, Mike Neese, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
Hi, buddy.
Yes.
Steve Caramel Corn.
Hi, buddy.
That's the top tier of channel membership here on YouTube. So if you'd like to become a channel member, click the join button below and leave a thumbs up. And we're also live on Facebook, where we have Facebook stars. Thank you so much, everybody. Bo Bower is watching us from Facebook. I see you. And if you help support the show, any super chats will change the color of my lights.
And Ace has joined us. Joined
Right
his.
back
That means Johnny's nipples get hard. His headlights go on.
That's absolutely a code for something.
Johnny's got a vibrating egg up his ass, and you donate $1, and he starts shaking.
Oh, that's gross.
So if you want to change the color of those lights, send a super chat, send a message with that. And I should get this out of the way too. Gizmachi.
I love it.
The plug.
Gizmachi is on Liquid Metal.
Nice.
So if you'd like to help support Gizmachi and get their song played as many times as possible, make sure to call Liquid Metal 877-87-HEAVY. Email Liquid Metal at is it Sirius?
Sirius
XM.
Sirius XM.
Sirius XM. Yeah.
Facebook, Liquid Metal on Facebook, and Twitter. So there you go, Jay. I did it.
Now leave me alone.
Was that a bet or something? Jesus. All right, Jay. Fine. I'll plug Gizmachi. Okay, fine.
I can't believe I have to plug this band again.
Gizmachi.
Oh my gosh. And if anybody wants to help support Jay with that, you can use the command in the chat, !Liquid Metal, and that'll bring up those numbers.
And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It doesn't cost anything.
What's funny is in order to try and get a word in edgewise, Johnny yells. He's like, okay, John and Paul are not going to stop talking, so I'm just going to yell over them.
I did it, Jay! I did it! All right!
There it is right there. Okay, there it is. See, right there.
Johnny has to, just to break in, Paulie, Johnny has to do like 3 lines of blow while we're giving the executive producers rundown. He's like, okay, we gotta help Jay. Gizmochi the man. Sirius XM Radio. Just email him, dial him, call him. Just get Gizmochi on the air right now. No.
Oh my god.
Big
energy.
Yes. Yeah, Johnny's snorting the straw of Bang Energy. He's like, oh, bang! Oh, bang! It's like gurgling piss. Oh, Bang Energy.
By the way, Gurgling Piss was my favorite band that I saw at the Mason Jar in November. Do you remember those things? They were called. It was called a gurgling. It was gurgling cod. It was like some sort of it was a pitcher that it was like in the shape of a fish. Like your grandmother probably had one, and it was in the big shape of a fish. And you put like whatever water or juice in it, and when you poured it, it was it made the sound like when Curly was drinking water in the Three Stooges. It's called a gurgling cod. I remember those. Maybe you only had those in New England.
I remember a gurgling cod piece, which is what they used to audition for members of Wasp with Blackie Lawless. All right, Chris. All right, you're in.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, geez. Let's do a little roll call. Let's see who's here today. I see a lot of people that we all love in the chat. Let's say hi to Renus Hung, Hal Face, Deja Voodoo, Browns Fan, Two Brain Cells, Hip Metal Works, Jim Nicholas, Thomas Santiago, Edwin Crane, Charles Green, who's getting his money's worth today. Let's see. Mike Neese, Music Therapy Laz, Andrew Seviers, Nightbot in the house, Johnny Beane in the house, my girl Sandra Picorni. And by the way, congratulations to Sandra on her own channel, for which is where the show Communication Breakdown airs. She has reached, as of this week, 2,000 subscribers. So thumbs up to Sandra. Well done.
That took me 7 years
To join?
to get to that number.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sandra's a workhorse. She knows what to do.
I'd like to welcome Black Salami to the show, who's here wasting time with the rest of us.
Can't wait.
Welcome, man.
Mark Dillon, 6 Chick 71, Vistalite 1972, David Scher, how are you, brother? Up from Phoenix. Chris Bevan asks how I am. Suffering and in a dark place, but hey, I'm here to entertain you today with my cohorts, so I'm gonna put that aside. But thank you for asking, man.
That's a strong
really appreciate
word.
that.
Entertain is a strong word.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, we're here to disappoint you.
There you go. That's more like it.
We already have a thumbs down, so I mean, someone already knows the expectation of the show.
That was there hours ago.
Yeah, it was there actually. It was there actually before we went on the air. So right now, you know who, not mentioning David Crosby's name, but I'm sure David Crosby said, "I'm too busy today to watch the Beane Show, but my grundle really hurts, so I'm gonna leave my thumbs down early today." My grundle. There you go.
Wow.
Hello from the David Crosby voodoo doll. Let's see who else in the chat. Marky FX, Browns Fan, James Gum, Edwin Crane, Vistalite 1972. I said already. Lenny Lou and Mary. How are you, ladies? Charlie S. Was that to Lenny Lou and Mary?
No, Lemmy came in and she's she's having. She's old and you know she's arthritic, so she's moving around and she's having a good day.
I thought Lenny Lou put up that dominatrix photo again, where you're like, good girl. Yes, I'm a good girl. I'm your good girl, Mancuda. That's right, Lenny Lou. That's right. You're a good girl. Yeah, that's right. Let's see who else is in the chat. Mr.
A lot of people.
Fruitcake Tony, my man, how are you? A lot of people. Dan in New Jersey. I'm sure I'm missing half of everybody. The original Paramutant, how are you, man? Neil Daly, how are you, Neil? Terry Himes, Seymour Butts.
Wouldn't that be great if he was actually watching? Adam
Seymour?
Glasser, if Adam Glasser were watching the show, that'd be great.
It'd be great if anybody was actually watching this.
It's a good point.
Yeah, this is all fakes. Tube Supio, Hip
It's
Metal
all bots.
Works,
It's all bots.
Sloppy McFloppy. Sloppy McFloppy. That's like the spokesperson for Viagra. Murph Murphy, Kevin Bethel, Black Salami. We mentioned Larry Riker.
Hi, Ellie.
Blythe Wolfgang. Daddy, Black Salami's there.
Hey, Jay. There you go, man.
Again, with the between the Colonel's plugs and the. Did I mention I have a nice big
Colonel's
box?
plugs.
Did I
Wait, are
mention
those in the
I-
box?
Did it mention that I have a big box of Colonel's popcorn?
Colonel's Gourmet Popping Corn.
It's you know how long it took for me to get this until Charles Green was nice enough to order it.
That was very nice of Charles.
It was
Green.
awesome of Charles Green to do it. So, Jay, get to
Charles is awesome.
tell everybody, tell Shane and everybody over there. Thank you for. I mean, that box weighs like I'm not kidding. It's got to be 8 pounds.
No,
It's heavy. It's heavy.
I got a box. I thought it was a dismembered body. It was
Yeah.
so big and heavy.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Between the sour whips and the toffee and the taffy and the chocolate covered peanuts and the
Penis.
penis. You would like
Chocolate covered penis.
you would like my penis?
Uh.
And the 2 bags of different gourmet popping corns. I am dead. That'll be so much for those 65 pounds I lost. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Hello,
little-
everybody. I'll be like, I'm gonna be like Jonah Hill. I'll be skinny Jonah Hill, then I'll be fat Jonah Hill.
The heavier you are, the funnier you are, just like
Yes.
Jonah Hill. So keep eating.
Yeah,
and, you know,
Everybody
if you
loves a
sh-
fat clown.
if you show up on set one day totally skinny and all of a sudden your jokes are really dry and bland, I'll be like, eat the sour whips. Eat more kernels.
Yeah, my situation will be I'm hoping to follow in the footsteps of some of my biggest mentors, John Belushi and Chris Farley.
Biggest, like fattest, you mean, right?
No, I just mean that eventually my heart will explode from all the drugs and partying that I've done.
You're way older than they were, though.
Oh, that's a good point.
There's Johnny with encouraging words. Hey,
They-
Paul, don't worry. You'll die way sooner.
They
Well, I've
both
already-
died.
I've-
They both died at like 30 years old.
Yeah, I outlived them both. So
Oh,
take
well.
that, cocaine.
I'll be their age next year.
Take that, cocaine. You can't beat me.
But we're going to try.
Is there a cocaine flavored bang?
I don't know.
They're
The
all
champagne.
cocaine
The champagne. Johnny's real interested. Suddenly he's fiending. He's like, is there a cocaine flavor?
Is there a flavor to cocaine? I've never
Addicted
tried
to
it, so I
that
don't know.
rush. White lines, vision, dreams of passion running through my mind.
Don't do it.
Do 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 the bass. Do 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 do.
Drop.
White line. Love that song. Very
Melly
very-
Mel reference for you on a Tuesday night. Talking 80s guitars and 80s metal.
80s
Melly Mel and the Furious Five.
we're gonna get into a lot of hip hop groups today. We're gonna talk about the Time, and we're gonna talk about
Ghetto Boys.
Dougie Fresh. I think is making an appearance today.
Boogie Down Productions. We'll get Eric B. and Rakim, as well as EPMD.
Yeah, Flav is gonna drop by today.
You know what's funny is there's a group of lawyers here in town. They're based out of Vegas and Phoenix. It's Lerner and Rowe is the name of the attorneys. Lerner and Rowe. Hello.
When you need a good lawyer, we're Jewish.
Yeah. So Lerner and Rowe actually have Flavor Flav in one of their commercials. It's fucking hilarious. If you just Google it's online somewhere. Just Lerner and Rowe Flavor Flav. And it's like Flavor Flav is like, they're like, we were voted the second best attorneys and so on. So he goes, well, you really voted the second best? And he's like, we were. And he goes, wow, that's amazing. This is one of the best first times I'm talking to a lawyer and they're paying me. And then he sings their jingle and it's fucking awful, but great. I was like, I don't know how they got Flavor Flav. It must have been like one of those, the cameo deals where you can, just pay him X amount. I mean, Flav, he must be going cheap these days.
He must be really bored.
Oh, so good.
I love Jews.
Oh, no.
They got me out of so much trouble. Flav is awesome.
I am a huge Public Enemy fan. Own everything they've recorded.
So am I. Public Enemy and NWA. I like them both.
Public Enemy, NWA. I've got all of it's the weirdest thing. Like we talk about the eclectic collection of shit that I have. It's mostly obviously hard rock, metal, 80s stuff, and then a disproportionate amount of hip hop. I have a lot of real hip hop in here, like Eazy-E and all the NWA and Ice Cube and T and Beane.
I have that same stuff too. It's good.
Yeah.
It's just
it's great.
Just because it's not what we usually talk about on the show, it's still amazing stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, and it's as good as. Plus, I have all the rock stuff too. I've had Body Count and Confrontation Camp, which is Chuck D's metal band, and
Cop Killer.
I've got the original Body Count with Cop Killer on it, and a lot of that stuff is fantastic. A lot of that is every bit as good as the hairpans we. Well, see, I'm not a Tupac guy, Neil. That's the thing. Like, I have a line somewhere right around the time that Dre went solo and Snoop Dogg came out. That's when I lost interest in a lot of the hip hop that's out there right now. I like the old classic stuff, the Cool Mo D's.
Oh, I love Snoop though.
Snoop was the last one. Snoop, Eminem. That's sort of the last group of hip hop artists that I really, really dig.
And Biggie, I liked Biggie.
I wasn't a huge Biggie fan. I wasn't a huge, that's that next generation after. I was the first generation with, like I said, Cool Mo D, Dougie Fresh, Houdini, Scorpio, all that shit that was just Grandmaster Flash, Dougie Fresh.
Excuse me, Dougie Fresh, you're on.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff.
He sampled the Inspector Gadget theme.
Hell yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, and I love Luther Campbell. I love the Two Live Crew. I think it's fucking hilarious. And good hip hop is every bit as fun as good metal.
As 80s
if
metal.
You get good stuff. Yeah.
It's all the vibe. It's the same type of stuff.
Johnny's like, I have black friends too.
Eric B and Rakim. I mean, Jesus, that's just some. Let the rhythm hit him are fucking great.
Hold on a second. Look in the chat. Look at the Chad using the Mancuda, Paulie, and Johnny face emojis.
Oh yeah,
how cool is that?
Oh, by the way, yeah, new feature.
Definitely plug that, Johnny.
Emojis. The problem is through StreamYard, I can't show it because it just shows the code. See, so I can't show it, but channel members. Channel members, if your name is in green, if you have a little avatar next to you, like the Chad, brand new producer here.
Welcome.
Yeah. You can put our faces right in the chat.
Are there emojis of all 7? Everyone?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. That? Cobra Kai Platoon. Thank you.
By the way, just to finish up in the hip hop discussion, somebody pointed out, they said that Tupac changed music. Tupac didn't do anything that KRS-One from Boogie Down Productions didn't do 20 years earlier. A KRS-One, it was a revolutionary. KRS-One
big time.
was a phenomenal MC, and the lyrical content and the shit that those guys were doing and that Public Enemy were doing in the mid 80s crushes anything Tupac ever did. Honestly, it just does.
Well, he was
Tupac was good. Yeah, Tupac was good. He crossed over, and he was. There were many that came before him that were Tupac wouldn't have had the opportunity that he had were it not for guys like KRS-One and Cool Mo D and Big Daddy Kane and Eric B and Rakim and those guys, and Chuck D and NWA and Ghetto Boys.
Fat
Like,
Boys. Remember the
Fat
Fat
Boys.
Boys?
Hell yeah. And I mean, look at Tag Team now. That Geico commercial is the best thing. I mean, the tag team guys are phenomenal. The whoop, there it is. Sprinkles. That's still funny.
I saw that.
It is funny.
I actually saw that commercial.
And Jay Hannon.
Johnny hasn't seen the Star Wars trilogy, but he's definitely seen that commercial.
And Jay Hannon pointed out, Digital Underground was pretty cool.
Sure.
The Humpty Dance was awesome, and that bass,
do the Humpty Hump.
That sub bass back then was outstanding.
I knew a guy who was in that band.
Oh, no kidding.
But it might have been before they got famous. One of those. He was the
Like
beat best of.
Yeah,
of,
like Rick
What
Fox.
was it? Wait, was it the black guy or?
Yeah, it actually was.
That's how Johnny knows him. He's like, the black guy.
Yeah, I mean, and Digital Underground was all right. And by the way, let's not forget House of Pain, who were outstanding. Sir Mix-a-Lot was great. I mean, there were a lot. I mean, as much as
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Too Short was great. For that brief period, Young MC. The 2 records from Tone Loc are fantastic albums.
Oh yeah, they are good.
I mean,
They are
Tone
really
Loc
good.
set the stage for Snoop. The completely stoned, laid back, that cool, smooth MC, laid back style. That was Tone Loc who laid the groundwork for what Snoop would eventually master years later. So
And Young MC. Remember Young MC?
MC, yeah. I mean, there was so I mean, that stuff is great. When you find good hip hop, it's great. Unfortunately, I don't think some of the guys that are lauded today as being as good as they are can touch some of those other guys. And oh, by the way, the guys that we're talking about did it with razors and tape. They didn't have Pro Tools. They didn't have digital samplers. They actually had to have 2 turntables and some sense of rhythm. And there's a sense of being able to use 2 turntables like that is just like being a drummer. That's an innate sense of rhythm and timing. That's fantastic.
Hang in there, Charlie S. I promise we'll be talking about metal today. I promise. Charlie S is like, oh, come on. It's like he's like watching the screen right now. Come on, get back to metal, please.
All right, so we'll get back to it.
But it's like he's watching a porn with his pants down, and it's the setup scenes. Like, oh, I need a plumber to clear my pipes. I'm a plumber. Did you bring a big tool? And he's like, come on. Yeah. I'm ready to go. Come on.
Fast forward past
Get to
that.
the sex.
And Bo, I knew a guy in the Freaky Executives as well.
Thank
I
you,
knew
Will
a
Starr.
guitar player.
So we'll bring it back to metal and talk about the fact that Beastie Boys used Slayer in their samples.
Jay Hannon just chimed in. He
Pink
said,
Floyd did too.
Jay Hannon just chimed in. Just what I tuned in for. A bunch of old white guys talking about hip hop.
Yep.
2 old white guys.
What are you talking
not
about?
white.
I'm going on 29.
I'm not white or old.
Well, you're aren't you partly white? You're a mix, aren't you?
I'm a little bit white. Yeah.
Well, I'm a Jew. And Paulie, what do you got in you?
Oh, you name it. I mean,
Colonels.
and not yet,
A lot
but I
of
will.
colonels. Hey, Dwight Bailey. Slayer.
And it's funny. I when we were talking about the old hip hop versus new hip hop, I look at Slayer versus some of the new metal and go, Slayer still crushes it. Slayer crushes Slipknot.
Oh, absolutely.
Slayer crushes Meshuggah. Slayer crushes whatever extreme metal band you can think of right now. Slayer is still the best. You don't have to, because here's why. They were super, super heavy. And I hate to talk about them in the past tense, but they're done. Slayer's over. There's no Slayer.
Charles S., pay attention. This is we're on metal now. Go ahead.
But Slayer was as heavy as you needed to be, and they still had songs. The songs are still fucking fantastic. No matter how good you are as a player, and no matter how loud and how hard and how fast, if the songs suck, who cares?
Absolutely.
But Slayer found the balance between brutally fast, brutally heavy, and fantastic songwriting. And that's when it's all said and done. If you don't have songs, your band sucks.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you guys are back on metal.
Yes, they do, Majestic. Yes, they do. Slayer crushes everybody.
Yeah,
Meshuggah, I mean, those guys they're good. Meshuggah's good. Blast beats are fun. But once you've got a blast beat, where's the swing? Where's the style? Where's the all that stuff starts to sound exactly the same. Slayer doesn't sound the same. Their songs are different. And that's the problem, is these extreme metal bands just figure we're going to play louder, we're going to play faster, we're going to pin everything, and then there's no dynamics there. Slayer had dynamics. Slayer had dynamics in their music and knew when to slow down. That's the problem. You got to slow down at some point. You can't go a million miles an hour or people just go, shut up.
Well, you got to make the song to some semblance of melodic so that it's catchy, you know? I mean, it can be fast, it can be hard, but like when you're just making noise, then you're not making a song that people are going to, differentiate as a song, and that it's melodic and it's good. It can be fast, it can be heavy, but make it a song. Make it something that people like want to sing along or bang their head to, or whatever.
What are the best Slayer albums? Well, that's an interesting one because depends on what era of Slayer you like.
All of them. Seasons.
Even earlier stuff. The early stuff sucks because Hell Awaits and all that stuff is so poorly recorded that I think the songs were there, but the sound quality wasn't all that great. They didn't start really until Seasons and South of Heaven. Those were when the records start to, and they went through sort of a lull a little bit for a while before they put out the box set. And then, let's face it, on September 11th, they released God Hates Us All. And what a brilliant record that is. Just so good. Slayer, and I'm saying Dave Lombardo Slayer too. I think, when Dave Lombardo was behind the kit, they're a better band. Something to be said for chemistry. Haunting the Chapel, Hell Awaits. Those are great records, but the sound quality is not good. Kind of like Megadeth's first album where,
it's raw.
Killing Is My Business is some great songs on it, but it just sounds like a garage record. It sounds like a demo.
But I love it for that. I love it because at the time, it was so raw when that first came out, and same. It was just really, really raw and really good, and I loved it for that.
Well, there was a band that came out in the mid '80s that I really liked, and seeing as we're into March. A band out of Northern Ireland, Belfast, I think, was the original. A guy named Jim Little put together a band called Rogue Male. And Rogue Male was kind of a cross between punk and Motorhead. And they put out 3 albums. They actually put out 2 albums, then they were dropped, and then those albums were reissued, and then a 3rd album came out a few years ago. And I love that energy, the energy of you talk about the lo-fi energy of the first Megadeth record, and even we talked about the Slayer records. I like that raw nature. I like bands like Rose Tattoo has that. Hanoi Rocks has that.
Love Hanoi Rocks.
Where it's just not too polished. I had House of Lords on shuffle the other night. Love the band, but it's too clean. It's not very dangerous.
Oh, I dig them.
I understand that, but it's not dangerous. It's like listening to Journey. Nobody ever got in a bar fight listening to Journey. Same thing with House of Lords.
If they kept playing it.
It's different. You can't compare, thrash versus House of Lords. It's, House of Lords is melodic metal and it's great. It's just different. There's no point, keyboard. Though. There's no keyboards in Slayer,
But that's my point, though. There's an element of you embrace that raw energy versus the polished nature. And I think going back to what we're talking about with Meshuggah, I think it's a little too perfect. I think it's a little too compressed. I think it's a little too planned. I think it's a little too packaged. I think a lot of that newer extreme metal is in this little spectral box of sound, and it's not out of control. You know what I mean? Whereas Slayer was like this, it's a fucking freight train coming at you.
It was really raw.
Motorhead, same thing. And to a lesser degree, I'm going to sneeze.
Right now, Colonel's just hit the screen. Just like all these Colonel shards just hit Paulie's camera. It looks like he's driving through Virginia during a locust swarm he's wiping the screen off. And
Mr. Hellstorm brings up a great point. Armored Saint is a great balance of both, raw power energy and well produced. I've always said this, and I think we've said this on this show. Armored Saint to me is the great underrated band of the genre because they're not power metal, they're not thrash metal. They're just a straight ahead heavy metal band in the way that Judas Priest is a heavy metal band. They're just great. John Bush is a phenomenal vocalist. Their songwriting is good. Their rhythms are good. Joey Vera is a fantastic songwriter. Armored Saint to me is one of the most underrated bands in metal.
They're great. And the thing you have to remember about Slayer, going back to Slayer for a second, at the time they were early, they were guttural, they were raw, and it was beautiful the way they came up, and Anthrax also for that matter.
Sure.
And as far as Slayer goes, they kind of ended on a high point where they were touring and still filling up, venues really well. And then they're just like, you know what, this is where we should probably stop. And it's not that, everyone's retired. Kerry King is doing other things, and, they're all, doing their own thing. But, Slayer just kind of left a great legacy without taking a shit, and I love that. They deserve that. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, John, it's down your leg now.
Oh.
Right now my mom is eating a bag of kernels watching the show.
And by the way, I Majestic PB and JCat, I don't care what your opinion is, what you think I know about my sugar. My opinion is my opinion, and I think they're a little too technically proficient and too perfect, and there's not a lot of swing to it, and that's okay. That's if you like that music, it's great that you like it. Not everybody has to like it. It's extreme prog metal to me. It's too precise. I know that they recorded their last album live, and that's fantastic. They're super, super tight, and I find that a little too disciplined for metal. I just do. I want there to be a sense of a bubbling under. I don't want a regimented band. It doesn't work for me. That immediately, if I want to listen to prog, or if I want to listen to great syncopated prog metal that's played exemplary and perfect, I'll listen to Sons of Apollo, because at least they have songs that have dynamics and they flow, they ebb and flow. Meshuggah to me is great for what they do. It just doesn't resonate with me.
And again, it's just, matter of personal taste.
Sure. Yeah.
Obviously they have a huge fan base. I like them. Are they as good as Slayer to me? No, they're different. They're a little different, obviously. Like Paulie said, they're polished for thrash.
They're a great band. They're fantastic for what they are. It just doesn't resonate with me, and that's okay. I mean, there's not much difference between Dokken and RATT, but I like one more than the other.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And speaking of RATT, by the way, just wanted to touch on this real quick.
Yeah, I saw that.
Stephen Pearcy.
Yeah.
Stephen Pearcy,
his backstage thing, and there seems to be a reconciliation in the works.
Stephen Pearcy, and we talked about this before on the show. We pulled this out a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about Stephen Pearcy talking to Warren and they're like, well, I wouldn't be opposed to getting back together as RATT. I would maybe record something. I don't know, but Pearcy is doing a docuseries called Backstage Past, and he's basically having a weekly show, and it's going to be on one of those channels you'll never probably see, that's on like Apple TV and Roku and stuff like that. And
I have Roku.
Of course you do.
So
I've
never seen it.
Johnny's the one. Johnny's the one.
I have a Roku, so I might be able to see that. And Mikey, thank you so much. Or Mickey.
Johnny's the one.
Mickey Newman.
Johnny also has
Mikey Newman. It's Mikey Newman. Mikey Newman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mikey Newman. Johnny has a DAT player and a Betamax as well.
Hey, easy. I have a DAT player.
Yeah, but you use it. You'll use it.
Hell yeah.
Johnny thought it was the next big thing. He's like, these are replacing CDs. I'm telling you, Matt Kuda, you can have a DAT player in your car soon.
I have a bunch of the never been opened too. In fact, I think my DAT player, my DAT machine, has like less than 100 hours on it. I mean, they didn't last long.
Anyway, Stephen Pearcy, Backstage Past. coming up later in the year. And again, he's going to explore, from the days of Mickey RATT before he became the singer of RATT, from those early days all the way through the period with RATT and up to today. It's going to take a little while, but he's having guests and having little jam sessions, and it should be cool, even if you can't see it on a normal channel, but try. But again, talking to old members of RATT here and there. It's not a done deal yet, but we're inching closer, guys and girls. Yeah, I predict
it's going to happen.
I'm predicting it, and when it does, it'll be an amazing thing.
Would it be interesting?
I really want to see more RATT.
I would like to hear more of the stuff that he released on Collage. Remember the Collage record that had some of the Mickey RATT and early demos? And of course you don't, Johnny, because you don't listen to this music.
John, who?
Right. But for those that don't know about it, RATT released an album called Collage. Well, it's really more Stephen Pearcy released it. But it's like B-sides and stuff from when they were Mickey RATT.
Early days.
Yeah. And then
this was also with some different members too, remember?
Yeah.
RATT's lineup has changed.
I think at the time when this record came out, obviously it has some recordings of Robin on it because he had already passed, obviously. But I think there's some of the was it Matt Thor who went on to Rough Cut? And I think some of Jake's contributions are on the record. I don't think he played on it, but I think that some of that early Mickey RATT stuff, that's interesting. Any of that archive stuff, the old archive stuff, I think plays really well. I don't know that, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Guns N' Roses never has to release another album. Those guys can just continue to tour like Bad Company and Ted Nugent and David Lee Roth and some of those other guys did for a while, where they just didn't put out any new music. They never have to put out new music again. And RATT's sort of in the same boat. Who cares if they make a new record, as long as we get that classic lineup minus Robin, obviously, together. Well,
I think it's only really the hardcore fans of a lot of those groups that really want a new record out of them.
Right.
The casual fans just want to hear the hits.
Yep.
I desperately want a new RATT because I want to see what Warren can do nowadays, with more years of experience. Think about it. It's been a while since RATT's put out anything with, what, Detonator? Was that the last one?
No, Infestation.
Infestation. Okay, my bad.
Which by the way, was 11 years ago.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time. And I don't know who would, fill in Robin's shoes. For a while you had Carlos Cavazo.
Jake.
Jake would be great, but I mean that might even be too much because he's such a lead player, and he plays well with Warren, but they're kind of equals,
It's funny. Charlie asked, Pearcy never sold out. He certainly tried to with Arcade.
I liked Arcade.
I understand Arcade. But Arcade was his blatant attempt to try and put out a pop metal record. Put out a band that was a little more polished than RATT, and poppier than RATT, and it never happened. Don't get me wrong. Own both records. Them.
Me too.
Like them. But
the Chad says you don't want to hear Steven sing on a new RATT album. I understand his voice isn't live exactly what it was, but in the studio you could toy with it.
You can do anything in the studio.
You could get a lot of, I could make me and Johnny sound amazing as singers, and it's like, that says a lot. Paulie sings. Paulie legitimately sings. I do falsetto, and Johnny's in the shower warbling. So it's like, definitely I want to see new RATT. I'd love to see Carlos come back and fill in that slot because he was so good at it.
He says he doesn't want to do it though. He actually thinks that.
So does Warren though.
No, but Carlos was like, he thinks that they should do it as a 4-piece. Like it should only be those 4 guys. And not have a second guitar player.
And they can, they can.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the studio they could do it. Yeah, in the studio they could do it, no problem.
But I don't know. I'm looking forward. Again, not there yet, guys, but a little closer every day.
Mm-hmm.
It could happen. We talked about that. By the way, also, if anyone's in Steve Vai's camp, could we just, as a group, wish him well on his speedy recovery? he had a hand surgery recently, and he describes it as he was trying to do a move for a new record, and he's like, it was a weird move, which for Steve Vai, a weird move is nothing short of like an oil can in your mouth and a pine cone up your ass while playing guitar with your tongue upside down. I mean, the guy's, weird move to Steve Vai.
Here's what Steve Vai does. For people that don't know, Steve Vai, you know how they talk about method actors, like guys that lose 80 pounds for a role or whatever? Steve Vai is a guy who meditates on notes. He'll find a chord figure on the guitar, and he'll play that chord figure and hold it for hours. Just that chord, and he'll just do that. And he meditates while holding that chord figure. And he's trying to connect spiritually. Steve Vai is a weird fucking guy, but God love him.
Meditate, right?
Yes.
Meditate.
But he does that. He does that. He does this thing where he finds, like, he'll even talk about a single note, and he'll find like a C, and he'll be like, how many different places on the note can I find C? And he meditates on the note, and he meditates on the chord. So what he did was he put his hand in a chord stack that I have no idea what the chord was. He didn't say what it was, but he put it in a particularly demanding chord, and he held it there
for a long time. Just
like anything else, like if you were to take a remote and hold it in front of you, like about 5-6 minutes into it, your hand's going to start shaking. You start to fatigue because your your muscles aren't meant to stay in that position like that and fight gravity or whatever other fatigue you might be dealing with for that long period of time. So Steve Vai does this all the time. This is sort of part of his spiritual connection with the guitar. And what he did was he did a chord shape that was apparently potentially damaging to some ligaments. He stretched some shit. He ended up with what they call trigger finger, which is, I guess your finger ends up, like that. You can't straighten it. You can't straighten. There's some sort of a tendon. There's like a tendon that doesn't straighten out. So he went and had that basically worked on. And then he also had his shoulder scoped at the same time. So he's not going to be able to play guitar for like 8 months.
Yeah, so we want to wish him well, and I'm glad it's in this position, because if I couldn't do this position, I'd be really going nuts. I mean,
that's a C shape.
Yeah, because you can't masturbate if your hand's stuck like this.
But thankfully for you, it's only this.
Yeah, I know. It's like changing a string for me. It's like stretching the strings.
So yeah, that's it. That's the Steve Vai thing.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Ellie.
Oh no.
And I think that it's similar to we give him a lot of shit on the show, but hi, Ellie. Yngwie Malmsteen had to reteach himself how to play guitar because of his car accident years ago. He had to literally relearn. So think about this: Yngwie Malmsteen was as good a guitar player as he is, despite the fact that he's a colossal asshole. As good a guitar player as he was, he lost the ability to play guitar and then relearned to play at the level he can play now. The level he can play now may not be what it was prior to the car accident. Who fucking knows? None of us can play like that.
Still better than most of us.
Oh, hi, Ellie.
Yeah, but we're the tunes.
Johnny, Ellie,
exactly.
Everybody say hi to Ellie. Hi, Ellie.
I'd rather play Wild Thing, A, D, and E, or whatever that is, than do all that stuff. Right, Ellie?
Well, the stuff that
you and Sexy DeVille have the same repertoire then.
The stuff that Malmsteen did with Joe Lynn Turner was fantastic. The stuff that he did with Jeff Scott Soto, was fantastic. Everything he did after 1987 was self-indulgent because he just stopped trying.
And let's not forget both Steve and Yngwie, Alcatraz, early Alcatraz.
Oh yeah,
really cool stuff.
Steeler, Alcatraz. Yngwie is a phenomenal guitar player, but he's a colossal jerk.
Steeler wasn't a certain bass player in Steeler.
Yes, he was, and nobody can remember his name because he's an Ulster man.
I can't.
No, it's funny.
Before they got popular, though, right?
When you say Steeler, you think Yngwie Malmsteen, and then secondarily you think Ron Keel, and then who cares?
Yeah, that's it. One particular person we're picking on. If you're not a normal fan of the show, stick with us. Trust me, it gets better. Well,
that's all right. It's really okay if you don't know his name. Nobody else does either.
It's a running joke every week.
Running joke on the show.
My mom's like, I haven't even heard of him. I've seen every episode of the show. let's talk about Johnny. I sent you some photos to Facebook. Can you get those on the screen?
Oh,
Like one by one?
yeah. I'm not sure you want to do this.
Yeah, sure you are.
Huh? I haven't even seen them. I don't even know.
Are you able to? One by one. Are you able to put those on screen one by one?
All of these?
Like ability wise? Well, one by one. Yes, one by one as I bring them to you.
That'll be the end of the show right there.
Yeah, no, get ready.
No.
But you are able to one by one, right, Johnny?
I think until you're able to do that.
Well,
Fruitcake Tony, hint
I
for
can,
show
I
and
can.
tell.
I can.
Okay, that's what I want to do. No, because it's part of the news this week. Fruitcake Tony wants to know hint for the show and tell guitar today. It makes me feel blue when I look at it. There you go.
John Biel.
Yeah. Well, there he is. There he is up there. Hey. He's like a peeping Tom. He's just, you have a little window in your house and suddenly there's a face in there like, are you naked?
So cool. I
am. We love you, John Biel. Anyway, so in the news, in the news this week, there's an interesting story where
hey, Marcy.
The company that is responsible for Dr. Seuss books decided to take 6 of them off the market because they're deemed as racist by today's standards. There's some black stereotypes in there, some Asian stereotypes in there, just not appropriate today, and especially in a kid's book. So it's very controversial in the news that they canceled these 6 books. So I'm curious. I see this news story. And I go on Amazon to see like if they're still selling them. And there's one guy selling one for $10,000. Everyone else is sold out. I go on Barnes and Noble's site for these 6. Everyone's sold out. I look on eBay. They're all listed on eBay, hundreds of dollars each selling. And this is, can you enlarge that?
That's what she said.
Yeah. Now this is, I thought based on those 6 that are banned, maybe we should look at some of the others that maybe they'll start considering banning, and you guys tell me, I mean, if it's appropriate still or not. These are some other Dr. Seuss books.
That's a real book?
They're not yet banned, but we're curious to see. Well, this is one of his early ones. Horton Hears a Jew. This is one of his early ones. Horton Hears a Jew. This was one that Dr. Seuss wrote in the 1940s. And, again, sort of an Anne Frank kind of thing where, Horton is German at the time. And, of course, in later books, they changed the character. But I believe this is still in print because I saw it online. I found all these online. So, I don't know. Do you guys think this one should be taken off the market, or what do you think? Horton Hears a Jew?
I mean, if that's a kid's book?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think?
Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Ellie.
Is that a real book?
That is a book. I found it online, so it must be real.
Well,
right?
Do you know how to Photoshop?
I don't know. I know Cobra Kai Platoon does. But I'm thinking that one should probably come off the market. If that's a book on the market, I'm thinking, I mean, as a Jew myself, I know I think that one should be taken off the market. So let's go for that one.
Yeah. I wouldn't buy that one.
All right, so let's take that one off. What else is on the market? I found a whole bunch of them, Dr. Seuss, that let's say this next one. This one is there's a gerbil in my ass. This is a little more modern. This seems kind of racy to me.
You should have put by Richard Gere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, again, these are, I searched Dr. Seuss books, controversial. And, I know these weren't on the list of the 6 that were canceled. So I'm thinking this one should probably be taken off the market. I mean, Jay, would you buy this for Ellie? I mean, I don't,
There you go.
I don't know. Paulie, what do you think?
He left.
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
He's gone. He's having kernels.
Yes. Paulie's stuffing his face with corn. He's just popping corn. He's like, this is great. What do you think? Should they get this one off the market too?
That one's not as bad as that first one.
That first one,
listen.
As a Jew, I think that first one should definitely be off the market. I don't know why it's on there. Let's see. What's the next one?
That one's not so bad. Let's see. How do I do this? And you guys, I haven't seen any of these ahead of time. This is my first time seeing these two.
Let's see. Well, I found all these online. My foot in your ass. This is one. I remember this one. This is one my father read to me as a kid. This is one my father read to me, and listen, I did learn a lot of life lessons from this book. I definitely learned a lot of life lessons, and the lesson was my dad. If I didn't listen to him, he would definitely shove his foot up my ass. Yeah, and that was definitely an ongoing threat. So that's one I found online. But again, I think this one's a little violent for kids. They should probably. Thank you, false flag. I should probably
watch Genie. See, they thought it was me pushing buttons. It's not. It's automatic. Come on, hurry up.
Jesus, look at that.
I got to keep showing my hands. I swear.
The miracle of Johnny's light system.
Maybe they don't have that color.
There you go.
False flag. Thank you, though, man.
Thank you, false flag. We appreciate that.
Thank you, man. They'll change eventually.
So let's see. My foot in your ass. Again, as someone whose dad read that to him as a kid, I think that was too violent for little kids. I think that one should also get taken off the market without question. Paulie, any opinion? Paulie?
I am not taking part in this.
What?
Dude, I have a fucking career to think about.
Well, I just found these all online. These are all online. I didn't make these. I found these all online.
This is all you, kid.
Well, let's take the next one. Let's see. The cat with the gat. This is another one we found online. There's another one we found online. I think this is definitely too violent for kids. Yeah, for sure. This is too violent for kids. I mean, the cat in the hat is one thing, but once he gets weaponized, this is that's just too harsh. I think that one we've got to definitely think about taking that one off the market. What's the next one, Johnny? It's too much, right? What's this one? The cat in the hat accidentally kills a prostitute. Now, this one I'm kind of on the fence about. This is the sequel. This is the sequel to.
Wait, whose thumb is that?
Oh, that's not mine. I assure you. Like I said, these are all online. The cat in the hat accidentally kills a prostitute. This is one I'm not. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about this one because people love the cat in the hat, and it's one of those things where the cat in the hat, as he's so popular. I mean, it's just a sequel. It's one of those sequels. So I'm not really sure about that. I kind of you could consider it, but it's one to think about. What else we got, John?
What is that? An alligator?
I think it's a sneeze axe, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a sneeze axe.
I don't know.
I don't know. What else we got?
Well, either way, it was an accident. So
Yeah, I mean, I and that's why I'm kind of on the fence about this one. This one I'm kind of okay with because this one's another one of my heritage. And again, while I'm not kosher, a lot of my family is. And this one's actually a real book. No lie. This one is actually a real book, I believe. Green eggs, no ham. I think we could probably keep this one there. This one, but again, I'm not kosher, but for those that are kosher, I think it's some good lessons. That's one to think about. Jew in the city, green eggs, no ham. So again, for those that are kosher, this might be an okay book for you.
yeah, and look at the way he's looking at that. He's really looking.
Yeah, he's considering. He's noticing there's not there's no ham there. The eggs look a little runny and
I don't know
stuff.
what that is on there.
Kind of contemplating it.
I can't even tell what's on that plate.
I'm Jewish and I can't tell what the hell's on there. Was it green matzah? What is that? What else we got? Next one. Now this one I like. This one's fun. One fish, two fish, red fish, Jew fish. This one's okay because there's nothing I'm not okay with on this one.
Wait, that's your hand.
That looks like no, it's not my hand. That looks like an uncle of mine actually.
That is a small African American thumb.
That's definitely not mine. I promise you. So that book I found online, but that one's kind of fun. That one's okay. I think that one's okay. That looks like I said, that looks like one of my uncles.
Yeah, that one's all right.
Yeah, I think we're okay with that one. So let's see. But you never know. They're very, they're looking over them nowadays. So what else we got? Next one is Horton hires a hoe. Yeah, that one, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with promiscuous sex, but this is a children's book. This one's a children's book. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, maybe this one.
Maybe we should. Yeah, let's have that one cut out. I hope the Dr. Seuss people are paying attention, so they could pick out the ones that definitely shouldn't be for kids. Horton hires a hoe. Yeah. What else we got, Johnny? Let's see. Oh, my dad read this to me as a kid. Oh, absolutely. Did I ever tell you how worthless you are? By Dr. Seuss. Yeah. No, he read that one to me as a kid. This is why I have self-esteem issues now. Definitely why I have self-esteem issues now. So, yeah.
You've heard that one?
Yeah, he read it to me every night. That and the foot up my ass. Definitely, I don't recommend that for kids because again, self-esteem is such a big thing. I don't know, man. I would probably pull that for kids. Read it as an adult, and then you could kind of relate more to that. What else we got? Oh, this is a valuable life lesson. This one maybe we should keep. Sneetches get stitches. Yeah, because nobody likes a rat out on the street. So we should definitely this one.
What are sneetches?
Sneetches. Well, it's the guy down there. He obviously
that's a sneetch.
Yeah, and he obviously opened his mouth to the wrong people. So I don't know. I'm not going with that one. Well, actually, no. We should keep that. A lot of kids should learn that lesson. Don't talk out of school. Don't talk out of school, kids.
Those are street lessons.
Never works out well. Yeah, let's keep that one. What's the next one, Johnny?
Only 2 left.
Paulie's thanking God. Oh, this is one of my childhood favorites, and I still read it as an adult. This one, The Cock and the Sock and Other Disturbing Stories. This one, I learned so many valuable lessons about masturbation. Definitely one that definitely one they should keep. This is a valuable book to read. This one should absolutely stay. Yeah, this one, and it's good for kids, especially preteens getting ready to go through puberty. This is one definitely that they should read. And what's the last one, Johnny?
I'm afraid.
Is this the last one, or are there a few more? I thought no, this might be the last one. Are You My Baby Daddy? I remember that one. Definitely an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think keep that one.
That one's pretty child safe.
You know,
and
there's
again,
a lot of baby daddies out there these days.
Yeah, it's definitely expressive, and I think it lets everyone
There's
know
baby
that-
grandparents out there now, you know.
Well, you know, everyone still likes to stumpf, so I think that's a good one.
There's grandparents out there that are 30 years old nowadays.
Yeah, that's the last one, right, Johnny?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think we're.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, so we're going to keep that one. Okay. All right. So again, valuable lessons from Dr. Seuss. Some of them I definitely think should be off the market, but some of them are still okay. Some are still okay. And Dr. Seuss brought to you by Bang Energy Drink. Delicious Bang Energy Drink. Always the right drink when reading inappropriate books. There we go. Delish.
That was the sound of me opening a book.
I thought it was the sound of Paul's camera coming back on.
Oh, hey guys, what
Hey,
I miss? What I missed? Did I miss anything? Anything? God, I hope I didn't miss anything.
Certainly nothing funny.
Here's why I disappeared from that segment. There are people out there that I know for a fact want my job.
There you go.
And of those people, I am one of them.
Nice.
No, it's all joking aside, they weren't really big books, really big Dr. Seuss books to begin with. There is a part of me that says they could just re-illustrate the books or edit the books and continue if the message of the book isn't drastically changed by a little editing, a little wordplay, a little if that's what they want to do. Again, this was a decision made by the estate. This wasn't a decision made by cancel culture. This wasn't a decision made by any educational board or by any retailer that refused to stock the books. This was the people that control Dr. Seuss's legacy and his estate looked over these works and said, you know what, these ones probably no longer work culturally. Now, to bring it to a ridiculous level, Michael Sweet posted today on social media. He said, we're at a point now where we're talking about the gender of a plastic toy potato and Dr. Seuss books being damaging. Remember, Dr. Seuss books are things that were by child psychologists recommended to be bought for your kids. And now the estate has decided, okay, well, some of these messages may no longer be congruent with today's society and messages that we want to teach kids because of stereotypes and whatever. That's their choice. There's another way to do that is you could keep those books on the market. And if you are offended by the content, you could choose not to read them or not to purchase them. There are a lot of things on television, a lot of things in the media, and a lot of things in this world that we don't like. I happen to hate Justin Bieber, so I don't listen to his music. And that's it. Yeah. Jay Hannon brings it very good. If you don't like it, don't read it. If you don't want it, don't purchase it. And if enough people rebel against it and don't want it and don't purchase it, eventually it ceases to be a relevant product anymore and they take it off the market. I think that maybe the estate of Dr. Seuss is just making a preemptive move to try and, by taking these books off the market that are not his most well-known and most popular works, they're making a preemptive move to try to save the legacy of his relevant and most popular works. In other words, get these ones off the table. They don't matter anyway. Horton Hears a Who, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, The Cat in the Hat. There's a whole bunch of those. Hop on Pop. There's a bunch of those, which, by the way, sounds inappropriate these days. All of those books are essential reading for young kids. They're part of your childhood. They're part of growing up. So if by subtracting these lesser known titles, if that wards off a potential shitstorm of negative publicity for the Dr. Seuss estate moving forward, then I applaud the move. It's self-censorship. And if you are a business and you choose not to sell a product anymore, we shouldn't have a problem with that. That's their choice to make, not ours.
Now, all seriousness, I'm going to get real deep into this because I know a lot about Geisel Seuss. The big thing that you have to realize is early on in his career, and this is, by the way, the reason that that Horton Hears a Jew book, which, by the way, obviously it's someone's Photoshop online. The reason that was done was they were touching on the idea that back in the day, and when I say in the day, wartime, World War II, Geisel Seuss was doing a lot of political cartoons, and they're all in the style of his children's books. So there were, like a lot of comic books made back in the day, there were a lot of comic books and children's books and political cartoons that basically did a lot of racial caricatures of Nazis as big, dumb, goofy, buck-toothed, muscular guys, and the Japanese, basically the other part of the Axis powers, as yellow, buck-toothed, slant eyes with the rice hats, and very, very over-the-top racial caricatures. Because in the 1940s, this was the enemy. America was very polarized that the Axis powers was the enemy. So you had, stereotypes of Germans, and that's basically where that Horton Hears a Jew, came from. Essentially, is pointing out that he started drawing all of these political cartoons against the Nazis and against the Japanese during wartime. As the war ended in the 40s and the 50s is when he really started getting into children's books, basically. And when I say children's books, the Cat in the Hat and, and all the other classics. But those ones the 6 that just got removed still had some racial stereotypes of blacks, of Asians and whatnot that obviously don't fit in with today's culture. And Roald Dahl, I always mispronounce his name, but Roald Dahl, who wrote Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the first printing of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the first printing of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, had the Oompa Loompas as little black pygmies made of chocolate, literally as racist as you can. And what they did, basically in a nutshell, for further printings, because obviously it wasn't appropriate, they changed the illustration. And they changed just the illustration. The content, maybe they changed 2 lines saying, oh, the black people are made of chocolate. They changed 2 lines. They basically made it more palatable and acceptable to what was acceptable in society. Now, they could have done the same with these 6 Dr. Seuss books. They didn't. They just decided, you know what? These aren't currently relevant selling books. You probably never read them, really. And, at the same idea, you don't want to get rid of the whole thing in the instance of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but you can edit it just a little for what's obviously not appropriate. And they decided instead to just pull those 6 off the market. These aren't 6 books that are big sellers. And
those are real books?
Not the ones that we show. Those are jokes that were photoshopped and whatever. One or two. But the 6 that were removed were real books. So my point is, again, you have to realize the history of Geisel Seuss from doing these caricatures Nazis and of the Japanese during wartime when propaganda's okay to current day where it's not okay, you know? And that's basically where that comes up. So,
All right.
anyway,
Thanks.
so just wanted to touch on that.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Krusty.
That was 40 minutes of wow.
Of your childhood.
No,
40 minutes
this
of your
is,
childhood.
this is my childhood. Bruce Lee as Kato, the manservant of the Green Hornet.
There you go.
That was my childhood. I my childhood is enjoying thinking that someday I could be the lead singer for Van Halen. Never happened.
Yeah, never happened for me either.
Wait, today's Dr. Seuss's birthday?
Is it?
Yeah, so it said on Twitter. I'll be right back.
I'm not sure. Johnny,
Did Johnny just bring us back to that shit?
No.
We ended that segment, Johnny. We're moving on.
Yeah, I was.
Let's talk about music that I
Let's
want
talk about
you-
sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about. Sorry.
Let's talk about AIDS. Yeah, remember that?
Oh yeah.
Remember that
Yeah.
commercial during the 80s? They're like, let's talk about sex. And then she starts rapping about AIDS. And it's like, you just ruined my mood, man. What the hell?
By the way, I got, just to bring us back to music, I posted a video of Kiss from 1977 at the Houston, I guess it was the Forum in Houston or whatever it was called then. And I put out that Ace Frehley can't sing and he can't play, and he's like Keith Richards of heavy metal, and like all this like completely disrespectful shit that I didn't mean as disrespect. I was like, I wanted to be this cool when I was, and everybody jumped all on it. They were like, Ace Frehley's awesome. He's awful, but he's awesome. It's like that wave of, we all accept that there's no way in today's music business that Ace Frehley and Kiss would have gotten a record deal. That would have been like, okay, look,
First different time.
First things first, you got to get rid of that guitar player. He's a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. And I just wanted to point that out because I put that, it was him doing Shock Me and the solo, including the solo, and the singing was ridiculously off key, and the solo was in what I call skeleton key, which is just play any note, it'll fit. It's just awful in the best way, that I love. Everything I love about Kiss was in that 1 8-minute clip. And I just want to thank everybody for all the emails from that, because it was just hilarious, the things that people were writing about Ace. And then, of course, they brought up the Tom Snyder interview.
Poor Ace.
Which is
But
brilliant.
you know what? At that time, Ace was such an influence on everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, what can you do? You know, it's sign of the times. Ace was, early on in music. Ace Frehley was like a big influence, something radical and something different. And, this was, early in the early 70s, where it was like pretty bland for the most part. And they were like a shot of heroin in your anus,
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Oh.
There you go. Let's talk about, because Paul, you probably know a lot about these guys too. Frontiers Records.
Yeah, they're celebrating an anniversary.
They are doing such good work, and I have to spotlight them for a minute as a record company, because I don't think a lot of people realize what a supporter of metal music and AOR these guys really are. But these guys are picking up artists that a lot of the mainstream companies would not. And it's a whole different world over there. If you look at all the artists, and they have like 1,000 of them on their roster. I think they have like 1,000 or over 1,000 artists of metal bands. And we're talking Pretty Maids and House of Lords, and they are like go-to guys for so much of the new, and I say new, but 80s style metal. And I want to point out, like, they did a song during the pandemic. I want you all guys to get your pen and pad, because this is where I give you music to listen to for the week. This is your homework this week. Check out on YouTube a video called Frontiers All Stars. And the song is called Push Through. And it's one of those, sort of like Ronnie James Dio did Hearing Aid in the 80s with the song Stars, to raise money for charity and whatnot. This is basically an inspiration for everyone, to get through the pandemic and hang on and tough it out and whatnot. But check out so many of their artists. And they're, it's a similar kind of thing where you have singer after singer after singer from band after band after band, belting out a line, and then they get to the guitar solos, and you have, Tracy Guns doing one, and this guy from this band doing one, and this guy from this band doing one, and it's laid out a lot like Stars was, a lot like Hearing Aid was, and it's really fucking good. And I want everyone to check that out, because it's so good that you realize holy shit, look at the lineup in this performance. That's a long song, but it's really melodic, really good, really catchy. But you look at some of the vocal ranges of some of these bands, and it got me exploring through their catalog of all these other new bands that they've signed on and they're promoting and whatnot, and they're behind. And I discovered two particular ones that I really liked a lot. First one is called Stardust. Do you know them, Paulie?
Nope.
Okay. Brand new band on Frontiers Records, Stardust. They're from Hungary. And they're very much a mix of Survivor, Dokken, Danger Danger, and Def Leppard. So one song they have sounds a lot like Survivor from the 80s. Another one, you'd say, wow, this is the song Def Leppard easily could have written. Another one says, wow, this is either kind of Def Leppard or Danger Danger, because they have that lineup with guitars and keyboards, and it's really, really good. So I want you to check out the songs I wrote down from them from Stardust. Check out these three songs: Bullet to My Heart, Can't Stop Loving You, which you'd swear is Def Leppard, and Secondhand Love. And I don't want you to just think that and second is 2ND, Secondhand Love. I don't want you to just think, hey, they're just copying Def Leppard. These guys are really, really good. These guys are really talented. Check them out. Leave comments in the video what you think of Stardust. Leave comments what you think of Frontiers All Stars. And then the next band I have for you is called Smackbound. You know them, Paulie?
Nope.
Okay. Again, new metal from Frontiers Records. The singer is Netta Lauren, Laurenne. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But she's got this incredible vocal range. And some people really, really like female vocalists, and some are like, well, let's see what she could do. When you saw Paramore, you were like, wow, that's good music, and strong female vocalist. This is the same kind of thing. Again, on Frontiers Records, Smackbound. The songs you should listen to, the one I'm addicted to is called Run. Check that out. RUN. And then there's Wall of Silence and another one called Drive It Like You Stole It. And they're pretty heavy, which, they're heavy but melodic, and very driving guitars, incredible vocal range on the front woman. I mean, really, really, really good vocalist on her. So check those out. Let me know in the comments what you think of those three, of Stardust and of Smackbound, and then Frontiers All Stars. Leave comments in the chat, not in the chat, in the video itself, in the comments section of the video.
On playback.
Yeah, let me know what you think of those three. But listen to, I gave you 3 songs of each. So of Stardust, Bullet to My Heart, Can't Stop Loving You, and Secondhand Love. Front Smackbound, Wall of Silence, Drive It Like You Stole It, and Run. And then Frontiers All Stars Push Through. That's your homework this week. Let me know what you think, because I think their lineup is just incredible.
There is a long-standing rumor that Frontiers is funded by La Cosa Nostra over in Italy,
Where the founder is from.
and that's
The founder of Frontiers is from.
yeah.
Italy.
That's the big rumor is that's where that money comes from. Of course, we all know that La Cosa Nostra is a complete fable and doesn't exist. It never
does
did.
not exist.
It does not
Nope.
exist. There's no such thing. But that's the
Not
legend. The legend, just like UFOs and other fables of the unknown. La Cosa Nostra is allegedly the money behind Frontiers, and that's why they have so much product and why the product is so well done, because they have unlimited funds over there in Italy.
And Jay brings up Crazy Licks, who we've talked about on the show before, also signed to Frontier.
Frontier puts out Mr. Big records. I mean, they put out a lot of the old 80s bands have sold their catalogs and their rights to Frontiers and now
look
have
through
contracts. Yeah.
Look through. You'll see. And again, I'm spotlighting them now because I want to support those that support our genre of music that we talk about and we love. That's why you're here. You're here, sure, we, make jokes, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we all love 80s metal. These guys support the bands. They sign the new music that you want to hear. So I really want to get through. Wayno says, if Johnny puts the links in the description, it would be so easy for us to do our homework. Just write it down, Wayno. You lazy fuck. I said,
he's a producer. He's a producer.
Well, I'm talking up to the big boss. He'll fire me right now.
And he knows people.
Just write it down. Real easy. Three bands and 7 songs total. Just write it down. Pause the video. Rewind it a little bit. Go back. I'm giving you good music you probably never heard.
I've never heard any of it.
Yeah, so check them out, because they are really supporting the metal and AOR end of the industry. They're buying up catalogs, like Paulie said. They're putting out new music. They're hiring new guys and endorsing new bands. Everyone that's trying to make it in the metal world these days with 80s style music, which again, a lot of the Netherlands and Hungary and Finland, and there's a big scene over there. And these guys are signing guys from over there, and they're buying up metal acts that aren't getting signed in the States. And I really think definitely they should be supported. So please, and leave a thumbs up on the video while you're there, because why not?
Here's the tough part about that now, and this is it brings me to an article that came out about a week ago. One of the problems that's happening right now is when you get a label like Frontiers, they do release new music from traditional heavy metal, hard rock bands that we all grew up and loved. Unfortunately, the outlets to find that music are starting to diminish. And I've noticed this at my local record store here in town, the chain called Zia Records. Their CD section is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And physical product is starting to become a mail order item now. You can only get it through Amazon. You can only get it through places like Amoeba Records. When they reopen, I can guarantee you their CD section is going to be smaller. There was an article that came out. It was like 5 reasons why the CD should return to prominence as a form of music. We've talked about this before. Obviously, vinyl offers you the best listening experience, but it's also the most brittle. It's the most easily damaged. Cassettes, every time you play them, they wear out, even though the cassette is starting to come back. The CD offers the balance of portability and digital fidelity. That is the best. It's still the best overall. Now, is it the best sound? No. Digital lossless is probably the best sound, but digital still has a a sterile quality to it because ones and zeros are finite as opposed to iron oxide on tape, which again you can pan and fuck with because the iron oxide, when distorted, creates a unique pattern that can't be created digitally. So, and MP3s are compressed to shit and they sound awful. We've traded fidelity for portability. So there's a big article about why CDs should come back out. The long story short, the moral of this is when your band, your favorite band, or even your not favorite band, a band that you kind of dig or that you're looking to get back their old catalog, buy the CD to try and tell that the store to keep those in stock, because not everything is coming out on vinyl. And now there's only 2 or 3 CD pressing plants in North America. And most of them are down in Mexico, and we're getting a lot of it from Germany and Italy now. CD pressing plants don't exist anymore because people aren't buying CDs anymore.
I'm still buying CDs.
Buy physicals.
I know a lot of people aren't, but I am absolutely buying CDs.
Yeah,
because again, like you and I have said, we collect and we want to support the band, materially.
Right. Yeah, I mean, downloading music is cool to a point if you want to just check the band out. But like everything else, like I used to when I was a kid, I would tape stuff off the radio. You'd sit there with your radio, you're playing record, ready to go, or it was on pause, and you would take the pause off when the song that you liked came on, and you would make like a radio mixtape. But then you'd say to yourself, okay, I heard this song, I like this band, I want to buy the album. So go out and buy physical product. Otherwise, your record stores and all those things won't exist anymore. And that is nobody thought vinyl was going to come back. And now look what's happening. You're paying $30 for a record that used to cost $4.98. Mm-hmm. Because and hipster kids are buying it. They're paying $30, $40 for Led Zeppelin 2 on vinyl. It's stunning to me.
Wow. Is it?
It is.
Is the quality of the vinyl superior to the older ones?
It may the quality of the vinyl might be superior, and that's great and fantastic. But those tapes were recorded in 1968. And they've been remastered and they've been rebalanced and they've done all that shit. No matter how good the vinyl is, no matter how good the digital signal is, you're still limited by the year that the record was made. It can't get any better. There's a finite window of how good that's going to sound. So, I mean, and you listen to some of the CDs of the early Zeppelin stuff when they put that stuff out, you can hear squeaks in the drum pedal. You can hear, noises in the background. Listen to some of the Van Halen stuff. If you get a good copy, a good remastered copy of Women and Children First, and you hear the rain coming in because they had the studio bulkhead doors open when they were recording Could This Be Magic? Shit like that is fantastic. That's a snapshot in time, but it only gets so good sounding. That's only as good as it's going to get. And analog is still the best, to echo what Marcy Douglas was saying, because of that iron oxide tape, 1-inch iron oxide or 2-inch iron oxide tape, or videotape. They used to use videotape in ADAT machines. Iron oxide. Yeah. See, the problem with that is the tape is not big enough to put enough iron oxide on it to get a big enough pattern. Essentially what you get is a wave pattern of iron oxide arranged magnetically on the tape.
That's right. That's right.
It looks just like
science. This is the science portion.
Science.
But this is why it sounds good. When you look at your digital audio editor and you see those little waveforms that show up, well, that's what happens on cassette tapes or any recording tape. There's iron oxide dust particles laid onto the tape. And when you record, the magnetic head of a recording tape, not necessarily on DAT, but the recording head of a cassette or of a recording deck, any sort of instrument, sends pulses, electric pulses, to the tape and arranges the iron oxide in certain patterns that match sound frequency. And there you go. And when you pin those things or you create distortion on those things, there's a unique pattern that can only be created by that magnetic pulse on that tape that can be reproduced from sound that you can't get from digital. You just can't. And that's why analog sounds the best, because there's a distortion and a quality and a depth to it that only magnet on iron oxide can create. You can't get it in the grooves of a record, like back when they used to cut acetates live in studio, where you'd be in a recording studio and it'd be like an old RCA mic, and they'd have the acetate with the needle, and it would basically, while you were recording, cut the grooves into the record at the same time. Not the same as a master tape. Master tape still sounds the best.
They had little studios way back in the day where you could go in and record,
Yep.
and you'd come home with a little record.
Yep. And they would cut the acetate right there with a needle on that record that would cut it live. They would heat the wax up, and the hot needle would cut right through there and would cut the acetate pattern. And essentially, for those that don't know, the needle goes into these grooves, and these grooves are also, not only are they horizontally, but they're vertical. So you'll have a groove like this that has little notches in it all the way up and down that create different frequencies. And all of that stuff is created from a master tape. Again, magnetic pulses to iron oxide, analog recording, still going to give you the best, most unique fidelity. And that's why records like Dark Side of the Moon and all the Beatles records still sound better than anything you can do on Pro Tools today. Because it's a unique,
which is great.
It's a moment in time, and you can't. That's why certain takes work. Alternate takes may not work because you get it that one time, and if you have to punch it in or redo it, you might lose the moment. And when you lose the moment, sometimes it's worth keeping that imperfection in there to capture that moment.
Which is great, because think about the music you just laid out. The Beatles, Pink Floyd, some of the best stuff literally ever recorded.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, make no mistake. Sure, do I love Bon Jovi? Absolutely. I can't compare him to the Dark Side of the Moon. You know? It's just different. You know?
Oh, that's the Green Bastard from Parts Unknown. If you are a Trailer Park Boys fan, you will know that Bubbles has an alternate identity as the Green Bastard. It's his wrestling persona. The Green Bastard from Parts Unknown. So, yeah, that's what that is. Thank you, Mama Mancuda, for asking.
There you go. That's not really my mom.
Oh.
John, right now my phone's probably blowing up. John's got to know I didn't actually ask that. That wasn't me. Meh, I don't like the show at all.
Meh, this show blows. Talk more about racist Dr. Seuss. That's more my wheelhouse.
I like all those books in their original versions. I preferred them in the 1940s.
My grandparents read those books to me when I was a kid.
And look how you turned out.
Well, he says, not me.
A lot of people don't know that. There's a book. I don't have it with me. I have it at my parents' house. There's a book that reprints all of the Dr. Seuss World War II cartoons and drawings and stuff. And your mind will be blown.
Jay.
Your mind will be blown.
Let me leave the studio.
Is that Jay?
Yeah, it is.
Here
we go. Here we go.
I don't like Gizmochi either.
Press 1.
Oh, no.
To send a voicemail, press 2.
Oh boy.
Wait a minute.
Oh no.
To accept, press.
Hey, man.
Hi.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi,
Yeah,
Ellie.
I'm going to say hi to Ellie. Yeah. Hey, real quick, I don't want to interrupt all this stuff because it is good stuff. But real quick, while you guys are bumping right now, I want to ask everybody that's watching the show and anybody that watches it, and anybody that watches it, if you could throw that card up, or not that card, that picture I sent
already
you.
did.
It's up. It's up.
Okay, we'll do it again. If everybody
It's
can
there.
do me a favor
It's
and
there.
take a minute or 2 minutes. Awesome. I see it. Jeannie's showing it to me right now. Just call up. You'll get an answering machine. Call up, request Gizmochi. The song is called Look What I've Become, but even if you just request Gizmochi, that would be fine. Or email, or both, if you want to do both. Because we got number 10 the first week, number 11 the second week. We want to crack that bitch. We want to get top 5 this Friday on Devil's Dozen on Sirius XM. Even if you're not a metalhead, even if you don't like me, even if you don't like the band, just do me that favor. Just call, tell them to play some fucking Gizmochi on that son of a bitch.
Hey, Jay, don't you think this would have been a better time phone call before we went to Dr. Seuss 40 minutes?
Did I get cut off?
No, they're here.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hey.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay.
You're
Awesome.
live, man. You're
You're
on
live.
the
All
air.
right.
Who is
Thank
this?
you very much. Yeah.
Oh,
Ellie says hi too, and she heard all that stuff that Mancuda was talking
on the
about.
screen, right?
Oh, good.
You should have made this call an hour ago.
There it is.
He can.
We
Oh
got
yeah, you're supposed to,
112
right?
people watching
Yeah,
this.
on location. On location in the living room.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so if everybody just call or email or Twitter or tweet or Facebook, anything would be super awesome.
And for God's
And
sakes, write this down.
I think 6:00 Eastern on Friday is the start of the Devil's Dozen on Liquid Metal.
Friday.
It'll be cool because we have the show Friday, so I'll be able to tell everybody. How we did. So
Cool.
awesome.
Nice.
Everybody,
Thank
everybody email or just, tweet at them, play Gizmodo.
Call and anything. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Great show.
I'm sure.
Except for the whatever. Never mind.
No, we're with you. I'm with you, Jay. That's why I said this call would have been. You could have timed this a little bit better.
You should have called while we were showing those.
Alrighty.
I don't like this
No,
much.
I was too busy chatting in the chat room.
Yeah, you could have saved the show, Jay. You chose not to.
Everybody, type
All right, rock and roll.
channel members. Put Jay's face in
What?
the chat right now. Emojis. We got the Jay Hannon emoji.
Yes, Ellie.
Hi,
You wanna
Ellie.
say something? Come on and say something. You can say something live on the air. Come on. Oh, to me? What do you want to say? You don't like Beatles and juice, but you like Beetlejuice. Yeah. Okay. All right. Ellie likes Beetlejuice, but not Beatles and not juice.
Have you shown her the movie Beetlejuice?
She wanted you to know that. All right. You guys have a great rest of your show. Everybody
Thanks
have
for
a great
answering my
week.
question,
I'll
Jay.
see you
Appreciate it.
Friday.
I don't like Tuesday nights.
She might be talking. Oh, they're gone. She might have been talking about Beetlejuice, the from the Whack Pack.
Oh, that's possible. He did, I think.
Tuesday nights
No,
are
he's
garbage.
not. Is he?
I think Beetlejuice is dead.
Is he really? That guy?
I don't think he is. No, that was Bigfoot, and then Hank, the angry dwarf.
Hank the Angry Dwarf.
He passed away. Yeah.
I remember Hank the Angry Dwarf before his first appearance. He was from Boston, and I was on my way out to work an overnight shift at WAAF, which the studios were off of the Mass Turnpike. And I was on my way out there and stopped at the Burger King at the Natick exit at the Mass Turnpike to grab some food. And there were these two guys and this little dwarf with glasses and a beard, and he was just wrecked. And this was at like 10:30 at night, the night before he was on. So they were bringing him to New York. I guess as it turns out, on my way home, I didn't want to listen to the morning show on my radio station because I knew what music they were going to play. And I had just finished working there for 6 hours. So I turned on the other radio station, which was WBCN. I would eventually go work for them at some point, and listening to Howard. And as I'm pulling into my driveway at my house, I hear them saying, I hear Gary come in and go, Howard, there's these two guys from Boston, and they brought this dwarf in, and he's drunk. And Howard's like, bring him in. Bring him in. So I literally crossed paths with Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf before he was Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf in a line at not a drive-through, but a rest stop Burger King on the Mass Turnpike the night before he became a whack packer. So strange. The next morning, my ex-wife and I were just dating at the time, but we were living together in sin at the Holiday Inn. Sorry. And I go, you got to listen to this guy. I saw him last night on the way. They were on their way to New York. I guess they left the night before, got to New York, and drank all night and just sat on the street out in front of the K-Rock studios.
Wow.
And it was just so weird to see him before he was somebody. Just great.
Was he really somebody though?
Well, he was. He had a bigger audience than this show.
Well, that's not hard. I mean, my mom's bedroom window has a bigger audience than this show. I mean, you know.
Oh my gosh.
They're all watching me get naked.
But anyway, the show.
You like that sound machine, don't you?
No, it took me 2 years to get one. Black Salami says the show still does not deliver. Glad you hung in for an hour and 44 minutes to make that observation.
There you
Thank
go.
you, Black Salami.
That was worth it.
And Buzik.
We used to have when I was the afternoon guy on a Stern station in Memphis, we used to have Crackhead Bob come down during Dead Elvis Week, and we would dress him up like Elvis and parade him in front of Graceland and hand out peanut butter and nanner sandwiches.
Nice.
He was a nice guy. Beetlejuice was nice, and Crackhead Bob was nice. Melrose Larry Green, not so much.
Oh, poor Melrose.
I met him.
Melrose was annoying.
I met him too. He was nice to me.
He was annoying, and you know it.
Well, yeah, but again, that was his shtick. That was his.
It wasn't a shtick. It was who he was. First thing he said when he lands in Memphis, he goes, "Do you know where I can find a Jewish deli?" I'm like, "Dude, you are in Memphis, Tennessee."
That's what I say. That's what I say.
Good luck, kid.
That's the first thing. Nah, if I'm in Memphis, I'm looking for barbecue, baby. But rendezvous. I could still see him asking that. And did you ever get one of his business cards?
No.
I don't know. John, you're Jewish. What's that?
Am I?
What's that thing he wears on his arm? He wears like a canvas because he's strict. He's like Orthodox. He has it's like a canvas thing. It goes over your middle finger and it covers one of your arms.
Oh, but he's not wearing that casually. That's a prayer thing. The thing that straps around it goes on your forehead too.
I don't know if it goes on the forehead, but it goes up one arm. He was wearing it on Friday when he landed. And it was on one arm, and I'm sure that there was probably something under his shirt or something like that. I want to know what that is. What's that called?
Okay. He was really religious. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's basically it's a thing. It's a series of boxes that one goes over here, and then the string goes up, and then one goes on your head. And when you're davening, which is like a heavy prayer on Friday, on Friday, or during occasions like a funeral or whatever. I mean, he's probably, he couldn't be Hasidim, but I guess he's like really, really, really Orthodox. But I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, if he's wearing one of those, holy hell.
He demanded that every woman he dated engage or partake in the mikvah. So, I mean, I was like he started telling me what that was all about. I'm like, milk bath? What the fuck? He's like, for purity. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. You are in another world. But he was like strict hardcore. And he was, wouldn't do anything on Saturday, obviously, and had to be done and in sundown on Friday. Didn't do anything Friday night.
Friday, if you're really, really religious, I mean, I'm Reform myself, which is, a sect of Judaism. Reform is like, the lightest level of religion. And then you have Hasidim, and you have Orthodox, and you have Conservative and Reform. But basically, if he's conservative, then yeah, you are not able to open your door, turn on your lights, things like that. You basically have to I had a neighbor who was like that, and Friday after sundown, his door would just be open. He would sleep with the door open and the lights on. It was like, that's just it, Yeah, Medellini in the audience is like, John, you're Jewish? Yeah.
Is it pronounced tefillin?
Have you caught any of the Jewish jokes that I've made ever? I'm allowed to make Jewish jokes. That's me. I'm Jewish enough to make Jewish jokes. Yes.
Is it pronounced tefillin or teflon?
I honestly don't know. I don't know the.
Okay.
Let's see. Ben Tom says tefillin or philasteries. Set of small black leather boxes containing scrolls of parchment inscribed with verses of the Torah. That is what we're talking about.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce it though.
Okay, yeah. Well, then he was Hasidic or Hasidim, but
he can't be Hasidim. He has to be Orthodox because if he was Hasidim, then he would have the payas.
He didn't have the payas. No,
he would dress a certain way. He's Orthodox. He's Orthodox.
Yeah, he was.
Jew 101 on today's Talking Guitars and 80s Metal.
Well, he was again annoying, but not in an off-putting.
That's Jewish.
Sort of way. Yeah, he was overwhelming.
Go to my family reunion. You want to see annoying? Oh, are you married yet? Eat something. Eat something. Hello, John. Hello, John. Hello, John. Yeah, we're born annoying. That's why we're good at comedy. Not me, but the rest of us are really good at it.
We are.
Yeah. The rest of us are. Yeah. So Larry Green, I remember I still have somewhere his business card. It's very, 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 very funny.
He fashioned himself a stand-up comic.
He was a character. He was.
I know, but he came down to Memphis and tried to do stand-up.
How?
And it was painful. I forget the name of the club, but it was painful.
Johnny, do you have a photo of him to post up?
Yeah.
Johnny's there playing Fortnite. He's like, yeah. Hold on. I'm on the glider right now. Hold on.
No, this is me. I'm trying to get the chat on this. See, look, there's
I hope you're calling. I hope you're calling in for Gizmachi right now.
I was trying to find my Howard Stern book because when I went and got a book signed, Larry Green was there.
Oh.
And so I had him sign my book as well. So I have his autograph. That's what I was looking for.
How tough was it to deal with him at the book signing?
I just remember him just talking to me, just nonstop.
That is what he did.
Yeah,
that was his shtick. He wasn't a stand-up. That's what he did.
He hangs out at a shop on
Melrose.
Melrose Avenue?
No, the street we were walking up and down.
Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, Boulevard. He hangs out at a shop on the
That's a strip club, Johnny.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
I don't know which place you're talking
on the right
about.
side. Let's say if you're walking down, there's a shop on the right that he hangs out at.
Were you rolling down Rodeo with a shotgun?
There is a strip club there, Johnny. That might be it.
I remember you showed it to me. We walked by there; they were closed.
If it's the strip club, yeah.
It was 8:30 in the morning.
They close at 6.
Melrose, Larry Green.
Jesus. Bring up a photo of him because here he is, but
he was something.
Yeah, he's definitely something. He's again there he is.
He looks like Giuliani.
Giuliani.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, see? Yeah, he looks like any of my relatives, basically. Wow.
Ace, back off. Back off. You're gonna kill her.
He wants some of that Colonel's popcorn. Who can blame him?
Lemmy is under the desk, chilling with a ball. Both of them are like, "Hey, it's 8:00. It's time for you to get off the air and take us outside."
Oh, I wanted to see you eat some of that Colonel's.
With your mouth open.
What am I, a fucking circus monkey?
Johnny has a fat dance, monkey dance.
Are you gonna have some later?
Well, I was going to. Why?
What do you think he's gonna do with it?
What am I gonna do with it?
Is he gonna make strings for the Christmas tree?
I figured you would just eat some tonight. Maybe Saturday.
I'll eat some probably Saturday. You don't understand. Okay. I had almost 2 bowls of something called Legal Seafood's clam chowder tonight. For those of you that don't know, that aren't from
that
Boston.
was tonight. Oh,
yes.
You were telling me that story before we started. I didn't know that was tonight, though.
Yeah, no, I got a gallon of that stuff delivered today from a friend up in New England who sent me a gallon of Legal Seafood's clam chowder for to say thank you for helping out on something, and you cook that stuff up, and it's like cement. Like, for those of you that have never had it, it's the kind of clam chowder that you can put a spoon in and it'll stand up in it. It's so thick. It's been served at presidential inaugurations. You've probably seen Legal Seafoods in an airport if you've been in an airport, because they're starting to show up in airports around the country. They're in Washington. They're up in the Northeast with primary. It's the Berkowitz family up in New England. And
Who doesn't like clam chowder?
So I took the chowder and put it in a big pot, and it was frozen. So because they ship it from Boston, they can't fucking send it. It won't stay. So you have to melt it down slowly. So it'd been slow cooking in my house all day, and I had a big bowl of it. And you eat one bowl of clam chowder, and you're like, oh God, I think I'll have a second bowl. And then you pour the second bowl, and you get like 4 spoons into it, and you're like, and you start to pass out. So I ended up, that's why I'm drinking water, because I am so bloated right now from eating
your anus is going to be bubbling like a cauldron in an hour.
So eating all that chowder was enough. So I, with all
chowder,
due respect,
chowder.
With the accent.
Chowder.
Say it like Boston to chowder.
Boston to chowder.
Yeah, Boston chowder, clam chowder, kid.
It's your cousin from Boston.
So yeah, with all due respect to the folks over at Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn, I literally can't eat any. I'm literally like drinking water to try and work this shit out. I'm bloated right now. So, but I will eat some on Saturday night. We'll decide. You guys put in the comments, which do you want me to eat? The Chicago mix or the caramel popcorn, or do you want me to eat the sour whips or whatever they call those? All at once. Just eat it during the show, the whole show.
All of it, yeah.
Gross.
Stuff it in your face. Don't get
me wrong. It's going to be awesome. I just can't eat that much. I don't eat that much. I can't. I mean, I can.
I just don't want to eat during the show because I'm talking. I see bits of popcorn spittling out, onto the screen and stuff, and
So, all right. Are you going to show a guitar tonight?
I am going to show a guitar tonight.
We are an hour and 55 minutes into this thing, and you haven't even given a clue.
I did give a clue.
Did you?
I said it makes me feel really blue.
Somebody from Roxy Blue. All right, cool.
You never know. It could be Blue Murder. It could be could just be a blue guitar. You don't know that either. But
man, oh yeah, that's right. Plexiface brings up a good point. I should probably eat the cookie before the show Saturday night, and then I'll have no problem with the popcorn. Just have a cookie appetizer, and then I just have my face in the thing. Me love edibles. You know what? They're legal now here in the state of Arizona
and California. I don't partake, but they are legal.
I don't either. I mean, other than the cookie on occasional for joint pain, literally for joint pain. But I want to go to not a medical dispensary, but like a recreational marijuana place and buy pot just because I can. Like all those years growing up as a kid where you had to hide it, you took your bag. I just want to be able to walk into a store and say, take an eighth of that and an eighth of that and an eighth of that, and just give them the, $150 cash or whatever it is, and just walk out with my bag of marijuana and just, just because you can.
I kind of just want to give it out for Halloween, when the little urchins come to my door. They're giving out full-size Hershey bars up the street. What are you giving, Mancuda?
Indica.
I'm giving out pot cookies. Here you go, kids. Here you go. There's one for you. And no, you're ugly. You get a heaping ladle full of sauerkraut. There you go, kid.
Yeah,
you enjoy your pot cookies.
I just want to be able to do that. I just want to just to do it. Just to point out that we can do it now. I just think it'd be fun. So if you want some free pot, I'll buy it and then send it to. No, that would be illegal. No.
How many flags do you think this episode is getting now? Ellie's like, I want a trick or treat at Mancuda's house.
Just you know what, John? Don't even save this video. Just delete. The less memory of this show that anybody has, the better.
So make sure to leave a thumbs up now.
I might as well pull out my penis. I've been waiting for this.
No, bring it all.
Penis. It's been a little crusty and dewy down there this week. Do you know how much email I've gotten on the David Crosby voodoo doll this last week?
9
people. A lot of people have been messaging me. They're like, put it in his anus, put it in his eye, make him go bankrupt, give him cancer. I'm like, you animals. Not the cancer one. Anything else, though, goes. Yeah, but geez, we've gotten so many requests. Someone said put it in his grundle. I'm like, maybe we'll give him penis rot and we'll put one in his grundle just for fun, just to say we did. Here we go. Grundle.
Right in the taint.
Oh, taint. taint any talent on this show. There you go. There's bankruptcy in there. Stay tuned. This might be next week. But this week it's my grundle.
I like how that needle looks like Deadpool.
Oh, it really does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that. Hold on. There you go. Shout out to my buddy Rob Liefeld, creator of Deadpool. There you go.
Awesome.
Deadpool in the grundle.
It also I've had a dead pool in my pants for years.
It also almost looks like the witch doctor, claymation witch doctor from the Radha Mahata video from Sepultura, which is a fantastic song.
Ting tang, walla wah bing bang. Ting ting, walla wah bing bang.
Ting taint.
I told the witch doctor. Taint taint. I told the witch doctor that I am worth a bundle, and then Mancuda stuck a needle in my grundle. I said, ooh, ee, ooh, ting, tang, walla wah, bing, bang, ooh, ee, ooh, ting, tang, walla wah, bing, bang. Oh. Yeah, there you go.
All right, well, enjoy your guitar. I got to take the dogs out and go sleepy time.
Thank you, Paul.
Good night, man.
Have fun, gentlemen.
Good night, brother.
Good night.
The great Neanderthal, everybody.
Colonels.
Enjoying Colonel's gourmet popping corn and tons of it. Talk about a great sponsor, man.
Yeah. 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 And
My mother's so happy with that.
Tessie Switch.
Tessie Switch. I like the shirt. Tessie Switch, the greatest kill switches ever made for your guitar. Check out Tessie Switch's website. Put one of those bad boys on your guitar and have a little fun there. And also buy Vinum Pickups, maker of the amazing Mancuda Custom, among a million others. I was on Vinum's website the other day. Holy hell! If you have a Les Paul, your cup runneth over. I mean, they make pickups for everything, but like if you have a Les Paul, you're like in for extra special treats. But like they have, they'll make you anything you want. And they have like all sorts of 80s sounds and tones. They have an Eddie Van Halen version that's supposed to be fantastic from what I heard. I haven't played that one, but really amazing. And I mean, they really have a lot of great stuff over there. So if you want something custom made or something custom colors, go to Vinum Pickups website and check them out. They have just everything. Really good stuff. Very,
nice.
Very cool. Very cool. And of course, today's show and tell guitar brought to you by Swiss Picks. Check out the grip on these bad boys. You will not lose your grip. I hold on to it like as tightly as I hold on to my minuscule penis. There you go. These things are great. I could fuck these holes right now. Terrific Swiss Picks.
I can't find mine. I was using it the other day. My pick, I mean.
You only have one?
Yeah, I'm down. I was down to like one, and
Johnny keeps swallowing them and stuff. You know what's funny?
Where it went.
I play the Atomic Cheddar ones in my living room where I usually play on my couch, and I always drop them around or I lose them or stuff like that. But the Atomic Cheddar ones I play in the living room specifically because they glow in the dark. So what I do is I shut off the lights. I look under the couch and there's like 8 of them there. Okay, now I know where they are. It's pretty funny. But check out Swiss Picks as well. They are great. So let's talk about let's see. We'll wait a little bit before we do show and tell. And then let's see. Let's talk about Adrian Smith and Richie Kotzen's new album, because I heard 2 tracks from it, and if you guys are not are not listening to that, I know I'm giving you guys a lot of assignments to listen to already through the show. But just trust me on this. Adrian Smith, Richie Kotzen, the new album is so good because you have two amazing talents, both playing, both singing. Check out the songs Taking My Chances and Scars. Both have videos to them, both terrific. Really good stuff. So check those out. You know, here's what we were talking about when we were talking about a week ago with Richie Kotzen and Poison. He's a great player. He wasn't the right fit for Poison. You know, again, you could look at Native Tongue as a totally different direction for Poison as a band, a unique album that stands on its own and stuff like that. And Stan was a good song. Good night, Marcy. And Stan was a good song and stuff, and that's great and all. But you know, at the end of the day, when you listen to him playing with Adrian, you'll see a totally different dynamic. They have really good chemistry, you know, and the Johnny Swallows joke, it was just too easy. It was just too easy, guys. I know. It's not like we missed it. It was just too easy. If I had a nickel for every joke I've made of Johnny swallowing, I'm just saying. Anyway, but if you notice Richie Kotzen playing with Adrian Smith, the chemistry they have was what Poison didn't with him. You know, it's a different dynamic. You know, we always talk about chemistry in bands. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. With these two guys together, it's a beautiful, beautiful album. At least the two tracks that I've heard. You know, I really think that when you talk about two major talents like that, you know, one, you know, obviously, you know, Richie has, you know, a bunch of his own projects and whatever, and Adrian, of course, you know, with Maiden. You're looking at two dynamos that could probably overpower each other, and yet this is what I'm talking about: chemistry. They work really well together. You know, what do those two tracks sound like? Tony wants to know. They're very, for lack of a better word, they're very soulful. Again, blues driven rock. They don't sound like Maiden. They sound closer to Richie's sound than Adrian's, but they're both, you know, just to give you an idea, you know, Richie's usually playing a Fender Strat, and Adrian's playing an old Les Paul. That I know that old Les Paul, gold top Les Paul, he bought when he was 17, before he got into Maiden. He's still playing that, and he says that's like the best guitar in his collection to this day. So I recognize the guitar, but you know, it's really soulful, kind of bluesy rock, but very, very deep and profound. Really, really good stuff. It's not super heavy, and not that I have anything against super heavy, but it's just good, solid music. It's hard to describe. That's the best way I could say it. It's very soulful, very deep. Play both songs. Play Scars and play Taking My Chances, and you know, two very different songs, but showcasing the ability of both of them. And that's what I love about it, is both of them are playing so spot on good to their ability. They're really bringing it, you know, they're not just, you know, playing with, they're not playing with, you know, let's phone it in. Let's, you know, just do something and you know, play what people are used to. Let's really put in some serious effort. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of projects where you get two dynamos like that, they're just kind of like, oh, I'll do what I normally do, and I'll do what I normally do, and you know, it's just done so freaking well. I don't know how else to explain it in a proper tone, but you know, and speaking of tone, the tone of these guys is terrific. Just really, really good. Just this is the beauty of it. Check it out on YouTube while you're checking out those other songs I gave you earlier. And let us know what you think. Because I think this is probably, you know, and again, obviously I'm a big Iron Maiden fan, but this is such a deep part from Iron Maiden for Adrian, you know. And he's so much better than you even expect. You know, just the feelings that they're both putting into their guitar playing and their singing. You know, you kind of expect that from Richie. Adrian, you know, he's a harder player usually. This is a bit of a departure for him. So the teaming of them together, it's just so good. So let me know what you think. You know, that's my my view on that. Have you heard this at all, Johnny? Or I know you're a big Richie fan.
I'm thinking I did. I'm thinking I did a little while back. Yeah, I'll listen to it again.
I mean, this is new music from them, so it's really good. You know, Medellini A says the Poison album Richie was on was really good. It's different. I mean, Richie's good as a player. Richie Kotzen's good, obviously. He's on a lot of projects. He's very well regarded. He's an incredible technical player. It's just different. For Poison, it's a weak album. If you don't look at it, if it had a different name on it, and you didn't look for it to sound like a Poison album, you would say this is a great album. You know, Native Tongue I'm talking about. You would say it's a great album, you know, and the thing about it is it's just not what you expect when you're going to play a Poison album. You expect a more dynamic, you know, upbeat sound from CC, and that's the sound that Poison brings. Richie brought a different sound, a different dynamic, a different mood, different tone. I mean, it really doesn't sound like a Poison album. It sounds like something different. You know, obviously, you know, you have Bret Michaels' vocals, and you could say like Stand is probably, you know, the best representative song that sounds the closest to Poison's tone for that album. And it's true. And it's a good song. It's just not Poison's best album. Just saying on my own as a Poison fan. Okay. If you called it something else, you know, yeah, party vibe. That's the difference that CC brought to it. That party, nothing but a good time. Hey, everyone, let's stay up all night and rock out on the boulevard. That's what CC DeVille brought. Richie brought a more technical tone, you know, more technical playing rather, a different tone totally, something more serious, I guess, for lack of a better word. Serious is probably the best way I could describe it. And, you know, it's just one of those things. Like I said, if it was a different titled album than Poison, Native Tongue, you know, if they called it, you know, Sassafras, Native Tongue, I'd say, wow, what a great 80s album. It's just because in that back of my mind, I have that stigma that this should sound like Poison of the past, you know, Look What the Cat Dragged In and, you know, Flesh and Blood and, you know, the others. I'm kind of mentally boxed in of what Poison should sound like, you know, for lack of a better way to say it. Yeah, Tio Bonnie says CC also brought cocaine. Well, that was part of the party elements of the 80s. So, you know, there you go. Speaking of cocaine, Bang energy drink, better than cocaine. So much better for you. Bang energy drink, delicious Bang energy drink. Give it a shot or a snort. Thank you, Bang. Thank you, Bang.
Thank you, Bang.
Yeah, so that's the Smith Kotzen record. Doesn't sound like Iron Maiden. Doesn't sound like pretty much anything else they did. Closer to Richie's sound, you know, but for Adrian, it's a real departure. Very, very worth checking out. I love it. I think you guys will love it too. I try not to recommend crap to you, so there you go. Let's see. What else? There's a couple of stories I'll save for after Guitar Show and Tell. By the way, they're talking about the stadium tour. They were asking Nikki Sixx, and they, I know this is an ongoing debate here. They keep asking Nikki Sixx, hey, what do you think? Is the stadium tour going to go on? Is it going to go on? And they keep pushing it back and keep pushing it back. And, right now, the stadium tour being Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett. They keep saying, that the stadium tour will go on when it's safe. So here's the debate now. You have the schedule as it is now, I believe, starts up again in June in Tennessee and goes on through states through September as it's scheduled now. And I say as it's scheduled now because this is constantly changing. And they asked Nikki, hey, what do you think? And, Nikki's put on the spot. He's the leader of Motley Crue, and he's put on the spot, and he says, well, I mean, I'm hoping that it does, but then by the same token, you just had Texas cut all restrictions today before it's kind of safe to do. And Nikki said, look, Nikki said, look,
crazy, man.
Texas and what was it, Mississippi or Minnesota?
I don't know.
I forget. Texas and one other area. I think it was maybe Mississippi, but definitely Texas.
But
they basically cut out all mask restrictions, opening all the restaurants, opening up everything to full capacity in Texas. And this is the type of thing that could literally just totally set us back on the pandemic. And he basically said, look, at the end of the day, we want to do this concert, but we can't do it if we're not safe. And remember, they're getting up there a few years. If we're not safe, if our road crews aren't safe, if all Mississippi, thank you, John Biel. If the road crews aren't safe,
John Biel.
If the audience isn't going to be safe, they're not going to do it. So while it's tentative right now for June to start back up, it's still up in the air. And anything could happen right now with it just not being safe. They're not going to do it. And this goes for all the bands. I mean, again, he's speaking for Motley Crue, but Def Leppard and Poison and Joan Jett have all been on the same page that if it's not safe for everyone, they're not going to do it. So the basic answer is the same. Tentatively, we're set to do this, but it might again be rescheduled and pushed back. Personally, I think it's crazy to open up Texas. First of all, Texas has enough problems right now, and my heart is going out to the people of Texas for all that's happened in the last few weeks with the snow and the water situation and the food. And, Johnny and I both have a lot of friends out there.
I know a lot of people that were there and they were out of power.
Same here.
For days and stuff.
Same. I know people that's places were totally flooded and screwed beyond screwed. Looking for water, looking for food. Mold is going to be a problem in the walls and stuff now, and pipes replaced. I have a plumber friend that drove out there to work, and he says, I can't even carry enough supplies. It's like a hunt for pipes, and there's just, it's just a terrible situation there. I think the last thing they need right now is to pull off all restrictions, all everything open, all masks off. I think that's just fucking nuts. I mean, I really do. And again, I'm here in California, and Mom's in New York, and I have friends all over the freaking world, but it's like, look, the bands aren't going to come. They're not going to do it. You can lift all the restrictions you want.
No.
If you're crazy enough to pack a restaurant,
not if they're from here. The bands from here won't.
They're not going. But if you're in Texas right now, I feel bad for you for a lot of reasons, but this just adds a layer of holy shit. What the fuck are you thinking? And again, not being political here in any sort of way. This is a health issue. Okay. Hey, Texas had a massive amount of death and hospitalizations. It still has a large case number, and we're at like a critical time during the pandemic right now. So like the stupidest thing when everyone's hurting in Texas is to like make every single thing open to full capacity. I think that's just nuts. I think that's just politics and whatever. I think that's stupid. I think that's nuts. So, either way, my heart goes out to everyone in Texas. But going back to the stadium tour, we'll see what happens. As of right now, I expect those dates to be changed. Vaccines are on the horizon, and I mean, we're like, I think America's like 8% vaccinated right now. So we have a long way to go. And if we start getting set back with all these variants and people let down their guard like to stupid levels like that, I just, like I said, I'm really praying for everyone in Texas. Hey, Susan, welcome.
Yes.
Anyway, let's talk about today's show and tell guitar. Before we do, coming up, we will talk about
Colonels.
Colonel's Gourmet Popping. we will talk about David Coverdale and Tawny Katane in the news this week. We will talk about that after show and tell. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. There's some big stuff happening with David Coverdale and Tawny Katane. We'll talk about that. We'll touch on the Golden Globes real quick because it's funny. And we'll talk a little more about Halloween and the LA Maybe, which I've talked about on the show before. But right now, let's talk about show and tell guitar. Today's show and tell guitar, the clue I gave was it makes me really blue. And yeah, I didn't really have a great clue prepared for that, but I had to give you something. So with that, let's see if I could get the lighting right on this today, because the lighting sometimes sucks when I show these guitars, and I have to really angle it so you can see it. This is probably going to be one of those that I really have to like play with the light to get the color of it right. But ladies and gentlemen,
hang on, wrong button. Oh, there it is. Whoa!
Look at that thing.
Oh, wait.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wait, wrong buttons.
Oh,
Ned.
my God.
Ned's stepping all over my sound machine.
Nice.
Look at that.
Let's do that right there. You got that, Johnny?
That's awesome.
Okay, so the light's not too bad. Okay, this is a late 80s BC Rich gunslinger. You all know these are some of my favorite personal guitars. These are my favorite super shredders along with Charvels, and these are basically a poor man's Charvel. Basically, the designers of Charvel eventually came over to BC Rich. They said, you know what? We should start building some sort of Strat body that's different than what BC Rich had at the time, which was their ST model. It wasn't really going over well. It wasn't, a lot of people weren't big on the STs. Tony McAlpine was one person, played an ST, but after that, one guy from Charvel came in and redesigned the ST3. And that was a great Strat design From that, you had Dan Lawrence and Glenn Matasiel, who you might recognize as the graphics guys from Jackson, came over to BC Rich in the 80s, in the late 80s rather. And they said, you know what, we need to build a real shredder, like, something that was equivalent or better than like a Charvel Super Strat. And they came up with the design for the Gunslinger. And the Gunslinger, I've talked about this before, 22 fret neck, very, very fast, unfinished maple, or just an oil finished maple rather. Great looking design on the reverse pointy headstock. This is actually my favorite headstock design of all of them. I just love the way it cuts upward. It's reverse, it's sharp, it's at a great angle, and I love the script logo that they came up with. Very fast neck. And look at the color on that body. This is blue burst. So it's like an electric blue with black edges, which kind of emphasizes the blue. Now, this one also has a tone switch added on. It was either a custom order or was added on later. Usually, it just has one volume, one slanted pickup, and a Floyd Rose licensed, usually by Takeuchi or Goto. Let's see if you can get a good look at that. There we go. What a great finish on that thing, right?
That's cool.
Super high gloss with the black edges.
I know that pickup too.
You're seeing reflection of all my ceiling lights and the posters framed on my wall. There's my Playboy centerfold. But just look at how high gloss that is. They were just very cool. A lot of them had graphics. You had a couple of plain Janes, and then once in a blue moon, you had a burst like this, and an unusual burst as well. Beautiful D-shaped neck, just flat and fast. Let's see. There's some nice flame on the back of this one. On the back of this neck. I don't know if you can see it at all. Can you make that out, Johnny?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, it's quarter saw and maple. It has some nice flame on it. And they're very light with very fast necks, and they're all business. You got your Floyd, you have your angled pickup. This particular one, let's see. What is that? It's a Duncan, but is that a Screaming Demon?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it to me.
Yeah, I think that's a Duncan Screaming Demon.
Configuration, you can always tell.
Which wasn't standard. I mean, this one probably, you always find things like this with, pickup swaps and things like that. Usually they came with a DiMarzio Super Distortion, unless you ordered something else. This one, having a Screaming Demon, or a Screaming Seaman, as Rena says. Love you too, Sean Zimmerman. Thank you, man. The Screaming Seaman. George Lynch, In My Wet Dreams. In my creams, it's still the same. I rub the neck and look, it came.
Dickin.
Dikkin. Oh boy. These were basically all business guitars. Light as hell. This is probably like I'm gonna guess in the 7 pound range, probably, maybe the high 7, something like that. Real nice light guitar, alder body. And a little cut in the back for fret access. Yeah, check that out. There you go. See a little angled cut into the heel, which is great for fret access. Again, very unusual to find a burst like this. I saw someone actually copied this because there's photos of this one online a lot, and I saw those photos, and I know someone said, are you going to sell that guitar? No, and they did a recreation of it. Basically, they had a painter give the photos of this guitar, and they're like, "Can you make that? Do that." But I've seen it in various degrees of blueburst before. Not a particular popular thing for the gunslingers to have bursts, but this particular one did. And let's see. Someone said they don't. Let's see. Steve McQueen says he doesn't like reverse headstocks. I mean, reverse headstocks were the standard for the gunslinger, but with the ST3, they had the regular headstocks, which were basically this, but straight. So they look kind of like this. But I think on a shredder guitar like that, I just think it's a cool look with the reverse. There's something cool about a reverse headstock, I think, that really fits these bodies. If you look over my shoulder, right there, that's the pink and black checkerboard gunslinger. I mean, I have over 70 of these things. I love these things.
Wow.
They're so good. What type of frets? They're kind of medium frets. I mean, they're wide, but they're not as high as I think the wire is like 6100 or somewhere around there. Cecil Music asks, is that a 14-inch radius? I don't know. I'm not good at radius. I just know what feels good. And to me, these feel amazing. Let's see. Questions in the chat. Were most gunslingers alder? Yes. Kramer made a few versions. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of companies that made bluebursts. I have a Kramer Beretta that's in blueburst. I had a I mean, obviously Les Pauls are given. I have a blueburst Charvel. You know, just an unusual color for a gunslinger. I'm just going through the questions, going through the chat, and hit the like button if you guys like this guitar or anything we've done during the video, or even if you don't, hit the like button. Why not? It costs you nothing. Let's see. What else we got there? Asked Neil to see a sneak peek of his new sister Strat to the Gunslinger. Gunslingers, well, we will see. BC Rich is getting back into the gunslinger business supposedly, and they're going to make two versions. They're going to do a modern version, and they're going to do a retro, and the retro will be supposedly these kind of specs. And I have high expectations for it because Neil Moser's involved. And, you know, Neil Moser, the father of the bitch, the father of the virgin. Boy, that sounds weird if you're not a guitar enthusiast, right? That bitch and the virgin and all the. But Neil Moser's, you know, one of the original old school guys at BC Rich. Designed a lot of bodies and all the electronics. That's all Neil Moser, genius. But they're supposedly doing a retro specs version also of the Gunslinger, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that it feels a lot like the old school ones, because to me, the old school ones are some of the best guitars ever made in the USA. And again, feeling kind of like an old school Charvel pointy, but at a better budget. And you know, they're pretty much made from BC Rich originally in 88, 89. And then when Class Axe took over, the quality was kind of hit or miss. But during those 88, 89 years, this is exactly what I love to play. Fast, fun, cool looking. And some of the graphics and colors that came on these, it's pure 80s. You just don't see guitars like that, you know, after that. I mean, nowadays you are starting to, because we're in kind of, you know, the 80s is a golden age of retro right now, where they're just like really trying to recapture that 80s flavor in a lot of the new guitar companies. You notice, Jackson and Charvel and, Kramer returning, Dave Mustaine joining Gibson. Even that, you'll notice like, that tribute to Rust in Peace is a green burst. So it's like, people like, that 80s kind of glammy stuff that's not around anymore. And, guys like CeCe DeVille, this was like his favorite kind of guitar. Tracy Guns, the guys from Warrant, Joey Allen and Eric Turner. A lot of people at the time really took well to these. The guys in Leatherwolf, I know one of them was playing it. A lot of guys, Derek Frigo grabbed a Gunslinger, although he's more known for his Kramers. But at one point, he also got on the Gunslinger bandwagon. But a lot of guys played these. Anyway, this is today's show and tell guitar of the week. 88 BC Rich Gunslinger in Blue Burst. Blue and Black Burst. Hope you guys enjoyed that. There you go. With a cream and semen pickup. There you go. And a lot of guys were talking in the chat earlier as far as Dave Mustaine with Gibson, which we talked about last week. I personally, I'm excited. I'm not big on Gibbies other than, the occasional Les Paul. I have 4 Les Pauls in my collection, and that's a very low percentage out of my guitars. Les Pauls for me are really hit or miss. If you find a winner, they're amazing. Otherwise, you have to go through 1,000 of them to find that one winner. But looking at those Dave Mustaine V's, I love that. I just love that. James Stewart asked, I buy most of my guitars new. No, I bought, I think about 8 of them back in the 80s. Those I bought new. Other than that, all the rest on the secondary market over the years. But getting back to Dave Mustaine, I like the look of the new V's that they did. We showed them last week. I think they look really, really cool. I especially like the green one. I think I'd really want one of those green ones. Just touching on a photo real quick. Bring that back. Let's see. There we go. I personally love that green one on the right. That Rust in Peace limited edition. I think that's going to be very cool. And I like the black one that he's seen playing. But, Dave Mustaine's guitar designs for me are hit or miss. Whether, I like the Jackson V's. I didn't like the Deans so much, but, as far as Dave goes, I'm interested in one of those greens. Speaking of signature guitars, so I'm on Reverb the other day, and I shared this with Johnny and Paul. I'm on Reverb the other day, and I happened to look up signature ESPs from Kirk Hammett, and I find one of the Ouija board graphics in a purple sparkle. And I'm looking, I'm like, wow. And it's, we're talking an $11,000 guitar. It's a very expensive, limited guitar. They made less than 30 of them. Initially, the ESP guys told me they made like about 15 of the purple sparkle Ouija boards and 15 of the ruby red Ouija boards. And then I heard it's somewhere under 30 was the production number. So I'm not sure where, but I found this rare ESP Kirk Hammett purple sparkle Ouija on Reverb, and I'm looking through the listing and I see all the photos of it, and then it says play video, and I'm like, oh, there's a video on the guitar. I play it, and it's the video that Johnny and myself did at NAMM last year showcasing that guitar. So it's basically me and Johnny's working the camera, and it's me basically, in full pink regalia to, pointing out, hey, here's the headstock and here's the type of pickups that are in it. And here's the sparkle. They're making a limited thing. And I'm sitting there watching a commercial for ESP that basically Johnny and I made. And I write to the guy. I'm like, hey, do we get our percentage? There it is. That's the video that he's got up on his for sale. And you can see there's the ruby red sparkle one. And right under there's the purple one. And that's the video he's got on his reverb ad. I thought it was pretty funny that I just happened to stumble on that. And I was joking with the guy. I said, hey, do we get our 5% commission for the commercial that you're using to sell your guitar? And he's laughing. And, we were having a good joke about it. Nice guy. If you're looking for one of those guitars, because they are really, really cool and really rare, go on Reverb. He's still got it up there for sale. So you might want to check it out, or at least go on Reverb, check out that guy's guitar, and look in the video section and watch the video of Johnny and I going over that guitar, because that's fun, right?
I think Michael Smith was there too, because you can hear his voice in the background.
I think he was with us, actually. He's not on camera. I'm the only one of us on camera, but if you heard him in the background, I think he was with us in that booth.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. Cobra Kai says, thank you, Vanna White. Yeah, I know, right? Where's my check? Where's my paycheck? I got the welfare check. That's about it. Killer. That's killer, as the captain would say.
Yeah. Captain emoji in the chat. Somebody. Thank you.
I love those emojis. Cobra Kai Platoon. Thank you, man. We love that. That purple sparkle is cool, right? Jay Hannon likes it. Jay Hannon of the great band Gizmachi.
Oh yeah. Don't they have something going on?
I believe. There it is. I'm hinting subtly, but if you are a fan of the show, do us a favor this week and just put in a phone call or an email and request Gizmachi's new song on Sirius XM on Liquid Metal, just to get Jay and the band over the top.
You just have to say play Gizmachi.
That's it. Takes 2 seconds.
Just play Gizmachi. That's all you got.
Suddenly Alexa will start playing the song, Right now in everyone's house. Alexa, play Gizmachi. Right now, 1,000 Alexas just set off Gizmachi's new song. And James Stewart.
Alexa, call 911.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Alexa, disregard that command. Don't say that, John. How many flags is this video gonna get today? Holy
Alexa, shit. Alexa, read me Dr. Seuss books tonight.
Oh my God. Yeah, don't say that 911 thing. Disregard that, everybody.
Did you see the video? Years ago, Nesdal was at his dad's house, and in the background, Jay, was that you or was that Rob? We kept hearing somebody talking in the background. We're like, what's that? And he's like, oh, that's stupid Alexa talking. And so we start saying, Alexa, turn the lights off. Alexa, do this. And the stuff was happening behind him.
Oh, no.
The good old days.
Oh, no. That's great. Right now, everyone's lights just went off. They're like, stop it, Beane. Jeez.
Really? Is that really happening to you guys? I don't have one, so I don't know.
I don't have one either. But it probably is if they have the volume on. So that really sucks.
Alexa, order a pizza.
No, stop. Send it to me.
And send it to
send them all to Johnny's house.
P.O. Box 232, Soquel.
I remember years ago when I was a teenager, about 10 years ago, we used to have fun with crank calling people, and one of my next door neighbors was some girls that were driving me nuts, and I would do this like a few times a week. I would deliver like 10 pizzas to their house. And they would, we'd look out the window and we'd see the pizza truck pulling in. We're like this, we're watching, and all we'd hear is, "I didn't order fucking pizzas. Stop! I have 10 pizzas. What am I supposed to do with these? It said you were a party. I didn't order 10 pizzas." So, I mean, we would do that like all week, like a few times a week. Back in my day, we didn't have no fancy Alexa to order pizzas.
Alexa, leave a thumbs up on the video.
There you go. Susan Silvestri says Green Eggs and Ham is her favorite Dr. Seuss book. You know what? It's mine too. I literally have a copy right back there. I do. No shit. On that shelf, I have a copy of Green Eggs and Sperm. Green Eggs and Ham.
Gross.
Yeah, I know.
8 minutes.
Yeah. Once again, the quality of this episode has totaled the toilet. There you go. So let's see what else is in the news. Let's break this down. We got 14 minutes.
8 minutes.
How'd we get to 8 minutes?
Because I said by 8 o'clock I got to go.
It's not 8 o'clock yet, is it?
In 8 minutes it will be.
Oh, okay. Let's see. 8. So we're working with. Yeah, you're right. Okay, we have.
You were
minutes.
late.
I wish I was late. I haven't had sex in a year.
Alexa.
Not since my breakup. Alexa, blow me. Right. Alexa's so much better than Siri. Siri's the opposite. Alexa, blow me. I think you said order Chinese food. Is that right? Let's go through the news real quick. Let's talk about the LA Maybe, a band that I pushed to you guys a few weeks ago. I'm going to push you toward it again. The LA, like Los Angeles, the L.A. Maybe, even though they're from the Carolinas, they have 2 songs out now, 2 videos. I want you to listen to both of them. And again, in the comments of the video, tell me what you think. Okay, the singer Alvy Robinson, I talked about, if you guys remember. Alvy was that guy that tried out for AC/DC when they needed a new singer. And he was one of 4 people they auditioned. Very, very similar AC/DC wise. Check out, they have 2 videos out now. The first one, Mr. Danger, I told you about before. Really good. The second one's even better, called Sucker Punch. So check out the LA Maybe Sucker Punch video. Really, really fucking cool. And again, you heard it here first. Really good. Halloween coming out with a new album in the summer of 2021. Get this. The single is called Skyfall. It's a 12-minute song, and there's going to be 3 versions of it. Because Halloween right now, if you're not familiar, Halloween's old singer rejoined the band, and the new singer, or new old, both singers are still in the band. A bunch of Halloween joined together for the last tour, where the old members came back along with the newer members, and they all toured and played and alternated stuff. They're still going with that. So the new Halloween is going to have all these members. And the vocals, they're going to do one version by the original singer, one version by the later singer, and one version where they're alternating parts. And you could check out a little snippet of the video on YouTube. Look up Halloween Skyfall. And there's like a 2-minute snippet of one of the versions. And it's really, really cool. It's going to be a big sci-fi video with spaceships and robots and shit like that. But the song sounds great. Sounds like Halloween. You only hear 2 minutes of it, and I don't know which version they played, but it's really, really cool. So check out Halloween Skyfall. Check out the LA Maybe Sucker Punch. And let's talk about Tawny Katane and David Coverdale in the news. Recently, Tawny Katane posted up videos talking about her making the White Snake videos like Here I Go Again, where she's rolling across the Jaguar in the 80s. And David Coverdale asked her to take it down. They gave her basically a cease and desist of putting up those videos. And she's accusing him of trying to get her thrown off of Instagram.
It was just on Instagram that
she
put the videos up, right?
Yeah, and he basically,
which people do all the time.
Yeah, and
people
he
do that all the time.
basically had it ordered for her to take those down and is reporting her to Instagram for copyright and saying she has no right to post those videos. And she's saying, "What the fuck? I made those videos with you. I made half the popularity you got. Who the fuck would even care about Whitesnake if I wasn't in those videos being all sexy and rolling around and blah, blah, blah." Now, again, you could say whatever you want to say. Maybe, they would have less popularity. Maybe they wouldn't, whatever. I mean, I think obviously part of their success was, of course, because Tawny, was in those videos. They were very sexy. They were very cool. Obviously, it helped on MTV that you wanted to see a hot chick rolling across the hoods of cars, So I think she has every right to play those videos. I think she's entitled. I don't know what the beef with her and Coverdale suddenly is, but they obviously have some bad blood boiling over right now. And she's threatening right now to write a book saying, "You know what? Because you're doing this, I am going to write a book telling people all your dark little secrets of what a shit husband you were and what a shit person you were to everyone around you, and how you were shitty to some members of the band and how you were shitty to the crew and stuff like that." And basically that's the deal. She's basically saying she's going to write a tell-all book. I don't know if she will or won't. You got that, Johnny?
She'll make an Instagram post about it.
Well, she sure did.
There it is.
I mean, she ripped into David Coverdale, calling him an egotistical has-been and the whole 9 yards. And look, David Coverdale makes really, really great music. I'm not saying that all his success was owed to her. I mean, obviously, 1987 was an amazing album. But yeah, I have to say, Tawny definitely contributed to the fame of that album. And this bad blood fight, I don't know how far it's going to carry. I don't know if she's actually writing this book, but if she is, it's going to be on fire for Coverdale. And for those that don't know, Cecil Music brings it up. Tawny is the girl whose legs you see on, it's not Rats Out of the Cellar cover. It's the Time Coast album. Rats Out of the Cellar cover has another, or is it Reach for the Sky? What or maybe it is. Let's see. Out of the Cellar. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It is Out of the Cellar. It is Out of the Cellar. That the Tawny is the girl in the Out of the Cellar cover. And I think she was also the girl whose legs you see on the Time Coast album as well, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but the idea is she was basically Robin Crosby's girlfriend at one time. So yeah, she is the one on the Out of the Cellar, and I believe those are her legs on the Time Coast album. So let's see, Tawny and Robin Crosby were girl and boyfriend from high school. They drove to LA together to find stardom, and they both did. They both absolutely did. So there you go. There's a big storm brewing between Tawny Katane and David Coverdale. And look, grab some Colonel's Gourmet Popping Corn and watch the show, because it's coming to life on her Instagram. If you go to Tawny Katane's Instagram, you'll see the words being spit out are not kind. And I'd love to read a book like that. I mean, look, I judge everyone on their own merits, but I've heard a lot of smack about Coverdale over the years. And I wrote to her. I asked her if she wanted to come on the show. I didn't get a reply from her, which means she's probably watched the show before. So
who knows?
But we'd love to have her on. But anyway, so
yeah, Tawny, come on a Saturday night.
Why on a Saturday?
Thursday at 8. Join us.
I'm going to the effort to bring her on or try to bring her on. And Johnny's like, yeah, don't come on with Mancuda. Don't. Jesus Christ.
No, if you can get her, that's awesome.
I wrote to her. I reached out to her. If she chooses to come on, that would be great. You know, I met her once in the past before. I won't talk about it, but I did meet her once in the past before. She won't remember due to weird circumstances. But yeah, Black Salami, it would absolutely be a waste of Tawny's time to come on the show, just like it's a waste of your time to watch the show. But hey, what else do we have to do on a Tuesday night, right?
Yeah.
You don't come on this show for quality entertainment. You just come on because there's nothing else on. Let's be real.
Yeah. Except Mitch Heyman.
Yes.
And speaking of time, with 3 minutes, I gotta split.
All right, so let's go through the credit. I think we basically banged out everything. We don't have to talk about the Golden Globes, but yeah, we've talked about everything we need to talk about today, and then some. Let's thank you to our channel members, our treasured channel members that we very much value. Hal Face, John Moronic, James Gum, Hillary Lewis, Jim Nicholas, 802 Blues, Mr. BHB Jr., Frag 5150, Pal Guitars, Dan Halen, Frank Corcoran, Ben Tom, Jeff T, R2R3 Locking Nut, new member there, Robot Master Switch, 6Chick71, Rick Green, the Chad, Thomas Santiago, Voodoo Child SJ, Brian Spalding, Fender Guru, Music Therapy Lads, Ghost BC Rich, 5150 TV, Jimmy Ray Hawkins, Hugh Caldwell, Crosby is a dildo fucker, he sure is. Jesus Rapes Me, Randy Price, and Steve Carmichael. Let's also give thanks to our other channel members: Charles Green, Fruitcake Tony, Michael the Captain Smith, David Ennis, Mike Neese, Richard Poole, Linny Lou and Mary, Gargets Entertainment, Kurt 5150, Susan Silvestri, Mickey Settlemeyer, Joe Christian, Nicole Mrazek, Sean Bolland, Wayno, Stephen Franklin, Will Starr, R. Habs, KXM Rock, David Shea Gomery, Bozique, Crazy Cook 678, Carol Hatcher, False Flag, Margaret Scranton, Sean Silas, Julia Baldessari, and Jarhead Rock.
You guys are awesome.
You guys are awesome. And thank you for all the love I've been receiving privately with what myself and my family are going through. Extra special thanks and love to my mom. You're watching. Love you, Mom. What else we got, Johnny? Remember to call in on Johannon's band, Gizmachi. Don't forget.
Yes.
Takes a second. Remember to leave comments in the video on the songs I recommended to you this week. And hit the like button because it's free.
It is.
It's as free as it gets.
And if Colonel's Popcorn?
Colonel's Gourmet Popping Corn. Check out Colonel's Gourmet Popping Corn. Delicious kernels, popcorn, and more. Nuts, candy, chocolate, sugar-free chocolate. You name it.
Wow.
And God bless every one of you, except David Crosby. I didn't like the show either.
Meh.
Nah.
He'll be complaining about something else next week.
And thank you, Cobra Kai, for the amazing emojis, the cartoon emojis of the Johnny Bean cast characters. Thank you so much.
Yes. Channel members, drop an emoji in the chat. I would if I was over there.
Yeah. And hit the like button. Let's see if we could hit 100 likes on this.
How many do we... Let me see. How many do we have here? I don't even know.
I don't know. If it's more than 5, we're doing good.
Yeah, I'm not.
And thank you, Cecil Music. It's been very, very, very hard for myself and my family with what's going on. Thank you so much. There we go. Look at those cool emojis. Badass.
Awesome. Thank you, Cobra Kai. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Colonels. Thank you, Swiss Picks. Thank you, Tessie
Vinum.
Switch.
Vinum pickups.
Vinum
Bang
pickups.
energy. Bang energy drink.
F you,
Thank you.
Tone.
Thank you. And I love everyone out there. Thank you so much for all the support.
We love you all.
We sure do. Rock on, everybody. Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live, Johnny Beane TV.
Bleh.
Meh.
Meh.
I don't like it. Don't look at me. My grundle hurts. I hate it. Meh.
Meh. Subscribe. Meh. You have to unmute yourself. Gotta click the microphone. Click the little mic icon. I can't do it for you.
Oh, there you go.
There you are.
Hit the damn like button.
Podcast. Yeah, leave a thumbs up, please.
Yeah, because why not?
Subscribe to the Johnny Bean Podcast on iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. If you're watching
Another
from Facebook, thank you for the stars.
Another episode that lacks in any sort of quality. Meh.
All right.
Stupid CUDA.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Good night. We love you.
Love you too, John.